I'm putting us back live now. So hello.
Sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can make Shang Tsung. I'm thinking changeling, monk, warlock, or changeling, monk, like shadow monk, shadow sorcerer. But the thing is, shadow sorcerers don't get anything cool until 6th.
You know, I want to like a sorcerer. Every time I play a sorcerer, I feel like I have so few choices.
Oh, but the choices are within the spells that you choose and your meta magic. That's where it gets awesome.
Yeah, but every time I play a sorcerer, it's like, okay, I guess I'll twin most everything. That's fine. That's okay. After you've done it 3 times.
Subtlecast is
Subtlecast is busted. But I'd much rather play a wizard
bonkers.
with the meta magic adept feat, personally.
Yeah, but you only do it once. You could subtlecast half your damn spell list.
Okay, chat. It does not seem to be working.
It is not, and at this point, I'm like,
no,
we
just go on.
We just roll, exactly. Also, I think I'm not sure, but it might be something on Twitch's end, because it's saying that it can't find the chat, that like what it's actually pulling from. So something's up, and I'm just gonna let it be for now. Shit's busted. But yeah, I'm just gonna let it be for now. Hopefully, chat will show up at some point, but if it doesn't. Who cares? We're here. We're gonna make it work. Nenders is talking about Shang Tsung and a goblin, and I love both of those ideas, but who knows which one he'll actually go with. And Joe, did you have any ideas of what you were going to be making?
None whatsoever. I came in ready for anything, so I'm perfectly happy to do a prompt. Otherwise, I'm just going to scroll through the classes and see what feels good.
Is it going to be Paladin?
I mean, immediately that's what feels good, but intentionally, I try and find something else first.
I see.
And like 30% of the time, I pick Paladin anyway.
Right, of course.
And then like another 30% of the time, I pick something else and then go, but what if I crossed that with a little bit of Paladin?
Anything but Paladin.
Oh, it's so good.
It is amazing. Let's see. Hold on one second. I can give you 3 prompts, I guess, and see if any of them speak to you or any of them sound funny or entertaining in some kind of way. And obviously, if you don't want to use it, that's fine. You can just make another.
Sure. Are you working on a prompt, or do you have a character in mind? Out of curiosity.
I actually have a character in mind, and
and also for the people watching,
genuinely has nothing to do with our conversation that we literally just had. But I've been having a Vengeance Paladin in my brain for a little while, so I might build that one. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. If you
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build a bad guy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with probably Rogue. I just want to build somebody who's not very nice. That's what I want to build.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I sort of did that in the 3-shot with Nenners, but that pirate was fine. He wasn't super mean.
That bad.
He just didn't care. He was ambivalent. He wasn't mean. His mean days were behind him.
Yeah. Although, oh my god, he was hilarious. And then I don't know if you heard it, but I think it was In the Interest of Cheese, Flandy was getting like sucked into your accent vortex. It was like he was having trouble like keeping his voice because like just hearing your pirate accent, he was like, I wanted to do that, and like even though it's not my character, I was getting sucked in.
I very much feel that. There was an episode of The Iron King a month or 2 back, probably. But somebody, one that Scott was doing as an NPC, who had a very British accent. I was like, oh, shit, I'm losing every ounce of my southern drawl here. I'm immediately trying to be what you're being right now.
Yup. Nice. I depending on what it is, I can sometimes kind of like get sucked into that too. And it's hard. And it doesn't happen to me often, but when it does, like I can't get out. It is rough.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. So I am using Oh No Louvre, I guess. I don't know. ONOLLVU. The names that they come up with, it's just I don't even think they're names. I think they're just run it through an algorithm with like random vowel to consonant ratio and throw it back out. That's a name.
Oh no, Livu.
Yeah. Oh god. Hopefully not that.
Livu.
Oh
Very
god.
bad French accent.
Um,
This is not even French, I don't think. Whatever it is, do this.
All right. So you're gonna be making an evil character. What kind of evil character?
That's what we're going to find out. I started going towards Rogue, and then I thought, Warlock, though, maybe.
Ooh, Warlock's fun. What?
It's not fun, but every time I ever play a Warlock, I'm like, okay, I get 2 spells, and then I'm just doing Eldritch Blast, which just gets
And then that's it. Yeah, exactly.
tiresome.
Yeah.
Half the time I try and build a Warlock without Eldritch Blast, just so I don't fall into that pattern. And then I'm like, yeah, but now I just am worthless because I don't have Eldritch Blast.
Go
Try not to be a
Hexblade.
statistic.
Yeah, yeah.
You could do Hexblade, get like the improved Hex like weapon.
No, it's my
And-
favorite Warlock.
And go Drow Sharpshooter. So your
Yeah.
Hex weapon is a bow. If you want to do range damage, and you can actually get comparable damage to Eldritch Blast while using your Elven heritage to kind of balance some of it out. Because you get
What damage
that's that triple advantage
Yeah.
cheese she wanted to.
Man.
Let's see.
Well, I think the only multi-class I can mess with right now is the Duergar Psy Warrior Rogue.
What? That's awesome. All right. I know you know there's
But-
no way this guy is just fucking a Duergar who is just having a good time and then suddenly he's fighting. What kind of fucking fucked up background do you have for this dude?
So I was thinking he's either part, because the Duergar are naturally psionic. So I was thinking of having him as like part of like a Duergar hit squad, or like he's especially at 10th level, right? Like, he's badass. He's been shanking people for a while. So he would probably have like the spy or criminal background.
Mhm.
I don't know if he would still be loyal to stuff. I'm still kind of up in the air with what I want to do with it. The other one, since you opened up third party though, is Bone Cobbler, because as the resident necro, I think I have to represent. And I think I might rock the Bone Cobbler I'll probably make 2. I can fly through these pretty quick. So I'll do the Bone Cobbler first. I gotta find out a good backstory as to why this guy's piecing together body parts.
Okay,
but-
no. In a way, I'm kind of glad that you don't just have a nice
More shits and
little
giggles.
backstory. Yeah, he's always.
That's the
Now
link.
you said
of
Psy
Bone
Warrior
Cobbler.
Rogue. Do you mean a Psy Warrior, like the Psy Warrior fighter? Or were you
Yeah,
referring to
like the
Soul-
fighter, firefighter,
a
Psy
fighter rogue.
Warrior, Rogue, Soul Knife.
Okay, yeah, that's a good combo.
So you get the 2
That's really cool.
dice and like all like the because then at 10th it's great because you both have uncanny dodge and the 2 attacks. You get like the baseline stuff. A level 11 is going to be a hard choice because you're like, oh no, what do I do? But yeah, you'll have some feats to back it up. Obviously, I played a Psy Warrior. That was super fun.
I love a Psy Warrior. I built, and it wasn't a super effective concept. The problem is they no longer have an option to get additional reactions, but an Abjuration Wizard with a Psy Warrior fighter has like 4 different reactions to be like, oh, you did damage? No, you didn't.
Oh yeah.
Nuh-uh.
You only use 1 per.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nifty until it's not.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's see.
Checking one more thing. Yeah, I know that. That's fine. Dee-dee-dee.
Maybe.
What? I know, Joe, you're probably in the very early beginning stages of the character, but like, do you have a race in mind other than your warlock?
That's usually like my. I always start with class and then work backwards to what feels right.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
nowadays, after Tasha's, most people let you put your bonuses wherever. I usually
Yeah.
don't. I usually stick to the default ones, and then it's a question of if one jumps out at me for backstory reasons, or if it's a question of, okay, well, these are the stats that make sense, or sometimes it's like, okay, well, these are the stats that specifically don't make sense, and I want to make that part of it.
Fix that. Yeah.
So I don't have a race in mind, but
Oh.
pretty quickly here, I think I'm gonna make a rogue warlock, and
I like
This
it a
I
lot.
did all off flavor because normally when I end up doing multi-classing, it's because like, oh, that ability it meshes with that ability in a fun way. But I think I'm gonna go Fiend, Warlock, and Mastermind Rogue
Oh man.
with a vague, unformatted backstory of getting people to sell their souls.
We're keeping with the dark theme right now. It's good. I like it.
What about the goat domain?
What about the goat domain?
Goat domain.
Goat domain.
Was that on D&D Beyond? Which unfortunately we're not going to be sending anyone.
No,
to
I
right
think
now,
goat
but-
domain was Kobold Press.
Was it?
You're gonna have a
I'm pretty
a
sure. Or it was
wider
Green
a range.
Lantern.
Because yeah, I'm not super familiar with where to go for third party. Because normally when I'm sitting there building characters, if I save it set aside, I'm like, I want book standard stuff. So if I were to
Yeah.
take this concept to a game, I could go, boom, this is all in the books. You
Hmm.
cool with it?
Oh,
And I have to
It's
fight for a
Mage Hand
third party.
Or was it Mage Hand Press?
it was Mage Hand Press, yeah.
Okay.
Which I will
One of those
link just a
big
second.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Goat
they're
Domain
great.
was funny.
Actually, who was it?
Scapegoat one was amazing.
I think it was. I think for the barbarian thing, I think for Kit we had a subclass that was also from the Griffin Saddlebag. Because if I remember correctly, it was like he did a lot of subclasses based off of like winter and frost, and the barbarian that he made had something to do with that. I forgot what it was, but we used that one, and that's actually in his like physical book, which I ordered and such. So it's all the way at the other room, but he used that, and that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of other like subclasses we worked on. I know Irene's Phoenix sorcery is technically UA still, and your wizard is as well. He's also Unearthed Arcana.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like not. Yeah, he's a regular old war cleric. Nenner's made my whole subclass for the ranger because Revia didn't transfer in real naturally. So that was cool. So, yeah.
Which is weird because rangers should do basically everything naturally.
Oh,
Because it's nature.
No.
Outsourced.
Get out. Leave. Oh shit! I pushed the wrong button. There we go. Okay, sorry. I got so mad I clicked the wrong. Hi, Nims. Please don't stop my laptop. I need that. Hey. I don't like he is insistent that laptops are pillows and that he needs to sit in them. So no matter where it is, where you are.
Well, who doesn't like a heated seat?
Yeah, I mean, technically our laps are heated seats, and he's just like, no, I gotta get on the laptop. Don't. Pardon me as I awkwardly move things around. Hi, buddy. Yes, it's not a place for you to sit. So I appreciate your enthusiasm. Where are you going? Where are you going?
I have to keep remembering to try and like describe what I'm doing. Inherently,
Yeah,
a lot
as
of
you're
reading
going
in
through it.
silence. I'm like, people don't want to watch that.
oh yeah, you should
Yeah.
probably be at your.
Yeah, we
Um,
should probably be somewhat entertaining.
What are you doing, Nenners?
Yeah, what
Do
are you
what you
doing?
want.
I
We're just here
am-
having a good time. We're chilling.
I've decided to go with a Kenku bone cobbler,
Kenku. What's okay? I love it.
who's
Good.
bone cobbling some of his old compatriots. So it's kind of like a scarecrow type stuff going on.
Is this like a darker Valen?
No, I think he was going to be an apprentice of like a necromancer, and I'm thinking a bunch of pallies just took him out. And
Oh my god.
he wasn't terribly good friends with the necro, but he stole all his notes and stuff,
Oh my goodness.
and is just kind of making his way. But it's I thought like, how could you get away with having like a cobbled creature? I was like, well, they're
Mhm.
Kenkus, so you could totally just say like it's a giant scarecrow, and he's like, like a taxidermy specialist or like a scarecrow salesman or something, but
Oh
really
my
he's like some big
God.
badass thing. So
Nenners.
I think we're gonna go with that.
This is what I mean when I'm saying like you got some dark stuff. You just come up with off the cuff.
Dark
Yeah,
has a lot
the-
more
the
room
other-
to be interesting sometimes. Because
Yo, I'm by no means unhappy.
I'm
with
not.
it. I love
I'm not saying you
I love
are.
me
I'm
some
just
dark shit.
agreeing
I'm
with
just
him.
telling Nenners that he's a dark man.
You should see campaign 2. It's gonna be awesome. I
Well, we
did.
will in 3 or 5 years.
you
Right.
be
More like
quiet.
6 to 7, but you know. Just I
If
want to
you were
make sure
both
this is
within melee range, I would chop you both in the neck.
You're
I
not
want you to
supposed
know
to
that.
chop us, that is. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna do.
Also,
How many points are we working with?
I was gonna have us roll because I wanted to hear you curse me out. Yep. Correct.
Well,
Well, that's
going to put a
time
spin
when
on
Nub's
it.
getting into things that he should not be getting into.
For those of you at home, I normally do not standard, right? Point by. Because it makes it consistent.
Yeah, we usually do our,
Your busted OP thing?
our busted OP thing. Yeah,
I'm not
pretty much.
complaining. The
Yeah.
Null was awesome.
Yeah.
that's
All right. The whole reason that we do that is well, the whole reason I do it at least is so that I can throw more crazy shit at you.
No, that is
That
buddy of mine who DMs. He's like, yeah, why would I want my people to be weaker? Then I have to balance harder.
right. I mean, I'm not trying to murder anybody, but if it gets to a point where I can like throw really cool stuff at you because you guys are strong and you have lots of options, I'm gonna do that. That sounds great. That sounds like lots of fun. Excuse me as I jank adjust as we go.
Jank just. All right.
Jank adjust.
Now here's the
there we
immediate
go.
question. Do I
Oh,
want
the center's rolling. You're not rolling the. You're rolling the jank way. Oh, that is.
So just to recap, real quick.
Yeah.
I have a 12, a
Mhm.
12,
Mhm.
a 10, and a
Mhm.
5.
Why are
That's my
hold on.
first. That's my first 4 rolls.
Why are you rolling 3d6? We 4d6 drop lowest.
I know, but it wouldn't put the number right, so I'm dropping the lowest manually with the 4th roll. There's a
Just
manual 1d6
and then remove one. That seems
Doesn't
like way
matter. It's the
more.
same thing.
Okay.
Another 10. I don't have enough to be a class at the moment.
you don't? There's no minimum for your starting class, just multiclassing.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a wizard with 8 int if you really want to. You just
You
gotta
can
start.
Yeah,
start
so-
off as the worst
so
wizard in the world. And then,
12 was the
you know,
highest. This is why I refuse to do rolls.
Uh-huh.
So we got 12, 12, 10, 5, 10, 12.
That's mostly positive.
sounds
Uh-huh.
good.
No.
No,
I mean,
don't see a
I've
problem
seen
here.
it. Sometimes a low int wizard's the way to go. A buddy of mine he rolled straight rather than choosing where the numbers went. He's like, well, I have an 18 dex, so I guess my most effective spell is dagger.
So you've seen my sister, right? You've seen her roll saving throws. Do you
Oh,
think
well.
a low int wizard who
Sanders, you don't know
Only
who you're going
well,
to be using this guy with.
He-
It's fine.
He did buffs. He did things that were saves weren't relevant. That's how you.
so you're
that's how
doing
you
like
get
the
around it.
Eldritch Knight thing where like I only cast shield and like mirror image.
Sometimes shield comes in clutch. I had a pretty great fight a while back where it was another magic user and myself, and we both were rocking magic missile, and I managed to double bluff and pretend like I didn't have spell slots. I didn't actively lie. I just didn't say shit and stopped casting spells. So he was like, okay, he's out of spell slots. He's down to cantrips. And then the magic missile was like, bitch, shield still.
Yes, can't hit me with the shield.
That's great.
Of course, then I was out, and then shit got dicey. But
Yeah.
that's how it do.
Oh, it's
my
Belgian.
God.
She gets spice. What's up? Hey, Maya's in chat. How's it going, girl?
I
For some
was
reason,
just going to comment. Hello.
yeah. For some reason, the chat is just kind of borked right now, so unfortunately, we can't see the chat on the
It's a little
Stream.
slow.
But obviously, we're still capable of reading. Oh shit! Actually, hold on.
And the slot
Now that I
level.
just
Okay, no,
thought of
that's
it,
the
it's working
choice.
now.
Hey, that'd be my other one.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Nubs is singing the song of his people in the background.
The song
in
of
fact
these
hear it.
people.
All right.
Uh,
You guys can't hear any of that?
No, we can hear it.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, he's being a chatty boy right now.
Chatty Cathy.
Oh, now it's working. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Okay,
oh,
hold on.
oh,
I gotta adjust some things up.
Oh well, almost working.
Huh, huh, Brother Groot. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay. It's starting to work now, yeah. So I guess there was a connection issue or some shit.
yep.
Pardon us. We're figuring things out.
So what's the point you're trying to give us, Foos? What was that again?
What do you mean the points thing? You got good points there, Nutters. You got 2 9s, and the rest are pretty good. You're fine. I need you to stop crying. That's all I'm gonna say. I love you, Nutters.
I think you do.
Yes, they're indeed honest.
What was the stupid Tasha's rule where you can?
That's gonna work now.
You just get a +2 and a +1, so you ignore what the racial bonuses normally are.
You put it wherever
You just
put it.
freely assign them for all these weak children that were given participation trophies and now need to be handheld. No, it's fine.
No, I love it. It's great. I'm by no means complaining about this. Are we spells? You are spells, girl. You are the spell of my life. Oh my gosh. Also, just to shout her out one more time, I already did the command, but I'm shouting her out again because I love you very much, girl. We're hopefully going to be having our sort of interview chat with her tomorrow about her setting that she is making. It's so cool. It's called Bella Knights. So come back tomorrow so that we can chat about that and you can hear about the cool shit that she's making. Because it's freaking magic and she's really, really freaking talented. So yeah, check that out tomorrow.
You can't leave wiggle room by saying hopefully. You gotta just declaratively state that it's happening.
I want to say hopefully because Maya, I love you so much, but she hasn't been feeling great. So I don't want to be like, we're going online. I don't give a shit.
You hold people to it.
I'm at least giving her an opportunity to understand that she can take a nap if she needs it. So yeah,
unless you provide a death certificate, Maya, you are going to be healthy enough.
You gotta be there, girl. I'm shit. No.
Obviously, do what you need to do.
Yeah, of course, and she knows. So I'm gonna make the chat a little less invasive here. Yeah, this is super jank. Like I said, I built this stuff super late night, and I'm still figuring some stuff out. So it looks much better over there.
You've got the jank.
Sure.
Right. You might feel right.
No, I wasn't, Maya. Don't say that. I'm just letting you know. You can back out if you want. It's all right. Don't worry. All right.
But there will be consequences.
There will not be consequences. I'll just chop Nenders in the neck in frustration. And it won't have anything to do with him, but he's going to get it.
I think Maya might... No, she's not. I'm still closer. But not by a lot.
Yes.
God. Tiefling feels on the nose, but maybe that's not a bad thing.
What's up?
What feels on the nose?
Tiefling. To be a guy trying to get you to sell your soul to the devil.
I fucking love tieflings. I will never tell you not to.
I mean, I like tieflings fine. Part of me is old man, get off my lawn about the fact that fucking everybody loves tieflings.
I know. I totally understand that too. But like,
I got no problem with them. They're fun.
No, it's fine. When they first came out, I was like, yes. Nenners. I was in like high school and I was like, Nenners, I want to be a demon person. Can I be a demon person?
I first opened up Satyr because that also feels appropriate, but
oh god, I just love it.
Tiefling just feels correct.
So Nenners, how's yours going right now?
I'm picking my first level spells and then I have to custom copy pasta all this shit in.
Hey, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's I'm trying to think of some stuffs here. Because obviously, so they didn't obviously give me the spells that come with it. So like obviously they dip pretty heavily into some of the necromancy things. So I might have to swap those things out. And I'm also trying to mentally map his backstory.
Oh, you know what? I think I might like that. Let me look at what you do.
Identify, because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, so he's gonna need that spell. And okay.
Wait. More goofy shit is happening. I guess I might have to do it.
Hold on, his stats are wrong. Why? Oh, you gave the plus. Oh no. Come on.
Oh,
46. Can I just? I'll just manually edit it. God damn it.
Well, yeah, that's what you do. Are you using the character mancer over there?
I am.
Oh.
I know. I was like, he's gonna yell. He's gonna yell at us.
What, Bandit? Freaking, it's clean if you know what you're doing.
I'm smarter than the character mancer.
I would hope so.
I don't like that it sort of implied you guys weren't since you're using it, but I know you are. I'm just saying that I don't care for arguing with it. I don't care for arguing with it.
Maya, it's because you always build jank ass characters. That's why you have problems. You're always doing some weird custom
Maya,
shit. Like it'll never work for you.
Mhm.
Make a druid? I can make a druid right now. I'm gonna make one right now. What do you?
I almost
I'll make
did
so.
because I was looking and I was like, I haven't made a druid in a minute. But every time I go to make a druid, I'm like, yeah, but the answer is moon druid. But I've done that.
Moon druids, let's go.
So I look
I'll
at
make a-
making.
Sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
What the heck was
Oh, on the character mancer? Okay, that's your dare to take.
I'll take it.
See how long the spell list takes. No, that's not Character Mancer's fault. Fogly, I almost called you Bogly. My papaya. I definitely made like you have all your spells there so that you could pick whenever you have a long rest, you can flop one back on. But since you're working on a not super fast computer, we can probably drop most of the ones you don't use, and then you're just gonna have to manually keep a list of whatever spells you need.
Just writes itself. Okay.
Well, that's for you.
My pen just died. Boo.
No. Also, Leonard, please appreciate my dope rolls.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the character list there. Yo, look at that!
Right?
Good stuff.
I'm so shocked. Shocked, but I will take it. I will take it.
I
Oh,
mean,
God.
I ain't mad at that.
The one from the middle, the 15, got like
Yeah, it
separated
got
from the 5.
one of my
so I was
15s
like,
got
you
cut
roll
in
a
half.
one?
but-
Yeah, exactly. That one's good too, though.
yeah.
All right. We got some things to work with here. Let's see. That you can't see what I'm doing because for some reason on this it's not working, but on my other one it is. So I will be right back as I do this stuff. Are we gonna go dumb
We-
Pally? We might go dumb Pally.
Oh, Pally is so good. I mean, I have a hard time making anybody dumb.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right frame of mind to enjoy it. Because I mean, it can be super fun to just be the idiot barbarian.
No, I love being dumb characters. I feel like there's a weight lifted off your shoulders, It's just like
To an extent, my
Oh,
problem is, I
okay.
guess it depends on the campaign and how puzzle heavy it is. But anytime there's a puzzle, I enjoy puzzles. But I'm like, yeah, but I'm playing this idiot.
that's very
So
true.
I'm not
I was-
helping. This is for other people to do. And I guess you could just not be such a stickler about it and be like, yeah, out of character, we'll all discuss the puzzle. But I'm like, I want to
I mean, I
do
also
that.
I also like the idea of the in-character, like, I don't know, bolt of lightning moment or something where your character's just like, oh, I get it. And then, like, they're just dumb for the rest of the time. But that one shining moment, they knew the answer to the puzzle. So, like, those kind of situations I think are also fun to play with, especially if you have a dumb or not so capable character. It's part of the reason why I love how, like, Valen has garbage charisma. But whenever you roll high on charisma, it is like a momentous occasion because we're like, yeah, man, good job, everyone listen to you. You're not just that weird Gith Yankee that no one wants to hear about.
Get the hell
So,
out of
like,
here.
I love those moments where you shine despite your stats or whatever you might have.
It happens.
my favorites.
Oh, I should take a
infrequently.
pact before I start deciding what stats are going to be. Because if I go Hexblade, not pact,
Mhm.
pact is. No, that is pact. It doesn't matter.
It's okay.
Not Hexblade is what I'm thinking of. The pact of the blade. So never mind. It doesn't matter because Hexblade is precluding. I'm thinking about whether or not charisma is going to be my attack stat, which it's not because I'm not being a Hexblade. I'm just getting ahead of myself. I guess technically behind myself, but that's not the point.
Also, Dubs is playing Call of Duty. I briefly forgot what I called it.
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare. So if you hear some noises or responses, that he's just playing that. Don't be alarmed. You just checked. What did you check, Maya? How many spells you have? You may be correct. My poor laptop. Yeah, I feel like your computer is always like. And I don't know what Euphemy's spell list looks like, but honestly, Maya, if you want. If you can open it. If you can't, then don't worry, I'll do it. But I'll start removing spells, and then you just have to keep track of things. And if you need a new spell, you can just drag it back on. But otherwise, the old laptop. Yeah.
I don't need to look at invocations. I don't think I've ever done Pact of the Talisman. Do I care about the Talisman? Do I want the talisman?
No, you don't. It's
Back to
trash.
the talisman one. Okay.
Sometimes it's not about what's mathematically the best.
Correct.
Okay. You
Though-
read Pact of the Talisman and tell me if you find anything remotely interesting. In
Hold
there.
on, it's like I do need to
turn
call
saves
but
into
Nenners on this
successes.
shit, but Flandy is correct. You want to see long spellless looking fucking roll him. Correct. Nenners gave that man 7 billion spells as a warlock,
I did.
and it is bananas.
Bananas. What invocations? Because I mean, yeah, you're talking about. I mean, it's the one thing. It's just the invocations that it might give you access to. And yeah, you get to add a D4 to a save here and there, and you can pass that around. But thematically,
awesome.
the talisman might
Mhm.
be the thing.
Yep.
You don't got to be the very best that ever was. You got to be interesting.
I don't even. It fails that test.
I'm not disagreeing necessarily, but thematically, it might make sense.
Like you look at all the other warlock stuff, right? Talisman is just like
Does it
What?
even have any invocations? Okay, here we go. Protection of the talisman. They're just way down here.
Flandy old man napped. Oh, I hope your nap was good.
That's just the package. Well, hold on. When they fail a saving throw, they can add a D4. Is that not just the vanilla? What? Just the vanilla shit. What's the difference? If you
let
take
me
Pact of
know
the,
when you find something fun.
I'm
It
just
might take you a while.
when the wearer fails a check, they can add a D4, potentially turning into a success. That's just Pact of the Talisman. Protection of the Talisman. When the wearer fails a saving throw, they can add a D4, potentially turning. It's the same shit.
Shit.
It's exactly. Why would I take an invocation that lets me do what I can already do?
Why would you take that as a pact?
Get out of here. It might be thematically appropriate. I understand it's not very interesting, but I don't under. Oh, okay. I see. I'm just reading too fast. It's an ability check that also gives them saving throws. Rebuke when somebody.
So
And
you
get
basically
hit, you
get
go psychic.
guidance.
Yeah, you have permanent guidance on yourself, which honestly, thematically, I'm fine with the talisman, maybe, but I hate guidance
What?
so much.
Whoa.
Oh, I hate it.
Because of its cheese ability?
Because it's basically the dark vision equivalent as a spell. You can't be like, I'm gonna do. You have guidance. It's just the fucking. It's the.
Oh,
You enter
yeah,
a dark
yeah.
cave. I have dark vision. Just fucking. No.
Yeah,
When they announced the potential 1D&D stuff about limiting it to once a day, I was like, that's the perfect thing that you could have done. I was only sad that they didn't also make that a thing for the help action, because I hate the help action too.
I feel like our group never fucking uses the help action, but
If
I
it's
totally
done
get
right,
you on
it makes
the-
sense. Sometimes you can work together, but too often it's, hey, I'm over here doing my thing, which I'm describing now that this person said they're overdoing their thing. But now that I'm describing this thing, this person who should not be available to help me shouts that they
Yep.
want to help me. No, I don't need
Exactly.
advantage. I don't need to win all the time. I'm a roll. And I might
It's-
fail, and that's okay.
It's stuck building my character.
Oh, the
It's-
character master is stuck?
What do you mean?
The character master is giving you problems, you say?
It
Oh
is.
no,
It
you,
is
go,
stuck.
you opened the Joel's gonna just hammer in that nail. The
Nah, it's turnabout is fair play. We can both do this. That's fine.
No. I'm just
Also,
gonna point
Flandy
out-
was saying,
don't care for
wild magic stork Kenku. Discuss.
I'm doing a bone cobbler Kenku.
Yes, and I love that idea so much.
I don't know enough about Kenku
Um,
off the top of my head to know why that's.
Also, we're level 10, so wild magic is less threatening.
Correct.
We'll
yeah.
survive a fireball centered on my face.
But also,
most of
speaking
the
to
time.
what Joe was complaining about, I fully kind of feel that stuff. I don't mind if it's like, I don't know, thematic, if it works, if they make it
There are
work.
times
I'm
when it's like, I need to pick up this heavy thing. Oh, I'm right next to you. I would love to help you pick up the heavy thing. All right, fine. Yeah, that
Yep.
makes perfect sense.
Yep.
But too
Exactly.
often with those in particular, it's somebody's like, okay, make a history check. Can I do guidance? Can I give the help action?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for their internal thoughts that you don't know. No,
Yeah,
you cannot.
exactly.
Get out of
Exactly.
here.
It's like, you don't know that, it's just kind of like the meta stuff and all that, but,
No.
Yeah,
I
it's
understand that I'm very grumpy over a particular thing, and so I don't usually bother anybody about it. So I'm like, my way of having fun isn't the right way, so other people can do it. They're wrong,
course.
but they're okay to be wrong. It's fine that they're wrong.
however you want to do it, enjoy. I know for me specifically, that is definitely something that I am a little more cautious about. You know, like if I hadn't really had that happen before. I don't think the guidance spam from a player really. But
I mean,
if it did come up, I would definitely have to
I
talk
can't
about
speak
that.
to your experiences outside of streaming, but you have some very lovely people in your groups.
I do.
So
I mean,
don't think that'll
again,
be a problem.
it's literally all the people that I'm like dragging into matches. Thankfully, they're very nice about it. Nunners especially because he's been dragged to different channels because of me, and I appreciate that. Nunners, thank you for hanging out and for supporting your little sister, no matter what she decides to take you to do.
I got you.
I appreciate it.
I'm looking at some of my other ideas, and I had some crazy ones.
I know you did, Nunners. Oh my goodness.
Skaven combat medic.
Why would he be a combat medic, though? Do Skaven even have combat medics?
No.
They could
Oh
if you try hard enough.
my god.
my
That is
God.
amazing. Where the hell would I go? Like, you have to make a decision. Is he actually trying to be a medic?
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Like, is he trying to be a medic? Did someone teach him? Like, how did he even...
Yeah, that you
How
have
does
to
that-
answer
how
that
does it work?
question.
It's a medieval
Oh my
machine.
god. Yeah, it's.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
I
Or
like
is he
the
just like
idea.
harvesting people for parts? Oh, he didn't make it. That's terrible.
Ew, Wendy! I mean, oh god.
A little of both.
Medicine, yeah.
Nice thing about being a combat medic, especially if you're the kind of guy who just makes people into parts and things, is you don't have to save a guy that can be saved.
Yeah.
You're just out there like, oh no, he might not make it, you guys. I'm trying
It's
so
a-
hard.
It was that meme on like, those D&D memes where like the fighter was down and he's like, why isn't anybody coming to help me? And then the lizard man necromancer's like, no, not you, no, go away.
I do remember seeing that one. I love it. Oh,
Oh,
god.
God. And Warhammer, the orcs, their mechs, like their pain docs is what they call them, or pain boys. They double as their explosive experts.
What
So it's like
the fuck?
you're not
Oh
quite
my
sure how this is gonna go.
I think I landed on it. The background was obvious. He's a criminal. Like, I didn't put any thought into that. That was just done. Warforged. That's what we're doing.
Oh,
Fly
we're
changes.
forged.
Yeah, it's
Doing-
working now. I got it, baby. It just for
Also,
some reason.
Flandy, or Nunners Flandy is talking to you in chat, and you're not reading it, and he feels real sad.
It's medieval. Eat the raw eyes. Yes, yes. You got to read it. LOL. You know, Nenners isn't reading this. Be quiet, Flandy.
Nunners, you gotta read the scabby things.
In
Oh,
you,
yes,
you
right,
gotta
yes, yes.
you gotta give a little
Oh.
slack in the chat. Foos is on it, but I got like so many tabs open. I'm
I
trying.
do too. The reason I do is because I have like this station and that station right next to me, and that's helping me kind of keep tabs of everything.
Okay,
However,
well,
it probably
You're
does.
making me look bad.
That's what I was just saying. Thanks for immediately claiming that you had a lot of tabs, but you're on top of it. Fine, whatever. I'm just bad at this.
That's very true, Nunners. You have enough monitors. You should.
I'm on triple monitor. I was thinking of getting a
should
fourth
be
and
fine.
just mounting it this way, but
Oh my goodness.
not
I
quite.
got two. Granted, my monitors are 50-inch TVs, so I could be splitting them more effectively. I keep thinking about buying like a nice 24 to 28-inch touchscreen monitor and just mounting it on an arm that I can just pull out in front of me right here, which would be fun, but I
That'd
don't want
be
to run
awesome.
the cables.
I don't want to run the cables. That's the deal breaker.
I'm gonna snoop on the Mastermind Rogue Fiend Warlock. What you got here?
Oh, well, mostly nothing yet on the sheet.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I'm putting in the
Good, good.
Warforged stuff, and then I'll put in
Oh.
the background stuff, and then I'll start doing it. Rogue first, and I thought about 4 levels of Rogue for the feat, but 7th level Warlock bumps your spell slot from 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And that's worth it.
That is, as a Warlock, it absolutely is.
Baby, you'll
Oh
work.
my god. Also, are you going to keep his name Brophy?
The name is the last part because it's the hardest.
Oh, I
part.
know. I know.
Oh
I
my
know.
God,
It just
preach.
cracks me up. How would you spell or pronounce that last name?
from the default that I got. Hold on, let me look at what it
Yeah.
actually is. Because Ebrof.
Yep, you broke.
Hmm.
Yeah, see? That was my
Bro.
reaction. I was gonna try and see.
Not how I pronounce it. I'm just stumped.
Has there been a break already? If not, when you do, can you run Vogel's turbo ad?
We have not had a break
Triuha.
yet.
That's what.
But I was actually going to take a quick one because I have to go to the bathroom. But I mean, I could leave you fellas here to chat in the meantime. I don't necessarily have to put a.
No. You just you handle your business.
The best part about the stupid turbo stuff, if anyone like
Best
who
part.
is in the market for a turbo does not want one that is cheap and easy to install, because that means it's probably made out of plastic, is going to explode, and
We just got rated. For
You
a
rated
hello.
the silliest, jankiest thing that's ever been on this channel. Don't judge
100%.
foos for this. They normally have really incredible stuff.
we are trying to create some
Hello.
characters.
Yeah.
We are. Thank you so much for the raid. Altruistic Latte, Mongolian Chief. Okay, I love these names. They're basically.
This is great.
um, this is a very chill stream that I'm doing for the first time, and as Joe said, it's pretty jank. I apologize in advance for just how jank it is. But yeah, as Dennis was saying, we're making some characters. I am currently making a half elf. Vengeance Pally, and I'm probably going to multi-class, but I have no idea yet. I'm just getting
I
started.
mean, it's the right thing to do is to multi-class.
I love Vengeance Pallies, and I've been wanting to play one for a while, so I was like, I'm going to make one. Joe, what are you making?
I am making a mastermind rogue multi-classed with a fiend warlock, Warforged. The vague concept, I haven't fleshed it out much, but I started with he's trying to get people to sell their souls to whatever fiend he's working for. And clearly he was a rogue for 3 levels, got into some shit and died, made a deal with somebody opportunistic, and they said, cool, you're alive again. And then, shit, you didn't specify your body, did you? Be this robot. So basically I'm working for the devil to get my body back, but it's fine. They're just souls. Who needs them? Yeah, it's good times, and I'm just trying to get it all on a sheet.
Yep, and we're having arguments about Character Mancer, and
it's the
unfortunately
worst.
It's not working out. It's not working out for Nenners. We're speaking of Nenners. What are you making?
I'm
Which main
I'm making a Kenku Bone Cobbler, who is it's kind of a custom. I'll actually link the link here. It's from the D&D Unleashed Cats, but basically it is a what's it called? It's an artificer that specializes in an undead minion. And because he's undead, you can swap out. You can infuse it with all your artificer infusions, and he gets access to necromancy spells of certain levels and types, and you can do some cool stuff. So I'm the kind of resident necro guy. So I feel like I have to represent here and going Bone Cobbler. And because there's obviously there's a little bit of stigma obviously with walking around with a corpse and stuff, I figured if I made him a Kenku and he had one of his Kenku homies who unfortunately did not make it, he could be bone cobbling him and make him kind of like this kind of scarecrow he walks around with or has mounted on his back, but really it's the Bone Cobbler. So that's what
As Maya accurately said, he always has bones in his bags.
Is this?
It's a common theme with Nenners.
Also,
If I have a bag of holding, there may or may not be a corpse in there.
sometimes that's what you need a bag for. I was not on the tab to pay attention. I saw that we were rated, and we appreciate it. But I should have said thanks a latte, right off the top. But I was busy elsewhere, and I apologize for the delayed response.
Bad pun. Thank you.
It needed to be said.
Yep.
I don't know if it needed to be said, but it has been
needed.
said now. Needed.
Maybe
Also,
not for
shout out-
the wider world. I needed to say it.
In order to be healthy, I needed to get this out.
Yes.
Oh, the hell,
I wanted to shout out Flandy for being awesome because he set up the quote command, and yeah, he just pulled up the Sock of Tongues, which wasn't it Socks of Tongues, which I don't know if that's better. But yeah, it was that came up apparently a couple days ago, 10 days ago to be exact. but we out here making some stuff. I have no idea in terms of appearance, so I'm just gonna skip all this shit for now.
You look like Peoples.
You look like a person.
My like low-key background conundrum with this character is like, okay, I intentionally set out to make a not nice person, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I make a not nice person, immediately I'm like, okay, either he's kind of posh and I make him a British villain, or he's not, and I use a Cockney accent. Those are my two bad guy voices.
That's
By
the only
default,
way I could be evil.
No, that's just what it goes to. Like I don't have a wide range of voices, but you could be anybody and do that. But just for whatever reason, I just love the Cockney voice. It's just fun. It doesn't really fit a robot, but
while we're here, I feel like we should do our like vocal greatest hits. So for Denners, one of my favorites of yours. I know you said it was very difficult, and if you can't do it right now, I'm not going to put you on the spot and make you do it on command. But Amal was amazing.
God,
that weird amalgamation thing that he was. Also, I guess obviously you do a voice for him, but I do love your Faye dude, because he does have a voice, but it's almost more like the attitude you bring with him. Like whenever he's talking, like Foos has a great time, and Ravia's just mad. So like I feel like that interaction doesn't get to be the like positivity that I feel. But he was super fun, even though you had Maya says you traumatized her with them all, and I think I agree, you did.
Honestly, the Amal thing, I was so happy you had the reaction you did, because I thought for sure you look at it, you're like, okay, game on, right? Like it's this thing clearly is just waiting to eat me. But you had a very measured response. But we're talking about voices. Joe, you've got so many good ones.
He does. I feel like we haven't had so much time with you, but I love it.
I liked. I mean, if I had to pick one, which isn't really doing the others any justice, but I really enjoyed your explorer pseudo intellectual ranger in Task Team M. That was super fun.
I very much enjoyed his voice just because I hadn't really used it for anything, and I kind of wish I had called the character that, because I call the voice Professor Adventure, and it's just fun to say Professor Adventure, but just almost posh. If anyone's watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it's vaguely based on the grandfather. He sings the song Posh with a capital P. I think it's just called Posh, but just woohoo! Yes, excellent, and very exuberant and enthusiastic. I love it so much.
Fully agree. I freaking love that voice. I think what also cracked me up during that was there was a time where you were trying to like speak quietly but still have that voice, and you're like, I don't know how to do this.
It takes a lot of
Joe's
air.
brain.
I had to think about it. I am a vocalist and have, I say that with this, there's a lot of pomp that feels like it just entered that sentence. But I joined choir in 5th grade, but it's just going to that to draw a connection is to sing quietly takes so much more air and control, because you expend it too quickly without producing a lot of volume, and it's a pain in the ass. But that's just where my brain had to go. It's like, okay, how would you be quiet? And so you just, a lot of air. Yes, excellent. It's very breathy, but it's what it is.
Yes, he was awesome, and I love that voice too. So that was. I also will have to like give you a little bit of a shout out for your Dispel Logic, which I will once again kind of shout out because it's an awesome channel, and you stream on Fridays and Sundays.
Fridays and Sundays.
Okay. I did it. I'm so intelligent. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I loved Clay's accent in that, like the southern drawl in there, and like obviously if there's a particular area it's from, I have no idea, but like it was just really fascinating to me because I don't know, I feel like that's kind of uncommon in D&D. You know, most people kind of swing towards European accents or something because it's just what medieval is usually represented as. So I thought it was cool to have just like a southern drawl pally just running around. I don't know, like, and as a character I thought he was really fun too, of course, but I really appreciated him.
I enjoy that voice, but it's ruined me a little bit because I've been playing Clay for so long, and his is more of the southern drawl is more of like a, I guess, like a foghorn leghorn kind of sound for him, less like kind of an upper class southerner almost. And when I went back to play a different character that I hadn't played in a long time, just in an offline game that I do, he was very much like a good old boy from the South, kind of just real hills people South. And I was like, man, I can't do this voice anymore. Southern means one thing in my head now.
Flandy's calling me out. Because of his characters, I made his dad like the immigrant into the like clearly African society that his character came from, so that way like Flandy could act a little more naturally and not worry about it. And in my notes for like his characters and like all the NPCs that were around him, his parents, his mom would just be the regular way of speaking, just kind of, it's more about her openness and fondness for everything and blah blah blah. But his dad was supposed to have a bit of a southern drawl, and I had it in the notes and I was ready to do it, but like when the stream was happening, I looked Flandy dead in the eyes and I was like, oh, abort, I can't do it. No. Abort mission, just regular voice, it's fine. So like, I don't know why, because Flandy's amazing and he would never give me shit for it, even if I did a fucking garbage one. But like, just staring the southerner in the face and then being like, I'm going to butcher the way some of you speak. I'm like, I don't know, I got it in my brain and then I had to...
Right now, redeem yourself.
No, we're not doing it right now. But I had to take a break, remember, because I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, so... you did, but then you got excited and stayed. I thought you just figured it out.
I did. About the time where I was about to go is about the time that I saw the Nubs emotes and my brain wanted to say Nubs. I don't know if you guys have this, but if anyone, like, if I'm reading something and speaking at the same time, I just want to say what I'm reading as opposed to what I'm trying to actually say. So I'll be right back. Yeah. Be good and don't believe whatever lies they say.
Don't believe whatever lies.
I'll be back. I feel like the second I leave, Ned is going to be like, I'm going to talk some shit right now.
So my sister is secretly running the Darkest campaign, and it's traumatizing. It really is.
This is what I'm saying.
Foos doesn't know, but Kit is actually taking therapy because of how much trauma he's
you can't say that shit
from her campaign.
You cannot say that.
It's like it's to the point where like it rocked him to its core. It was bad.
If I'm being honest, part of the reason I needed so many notes to play Garai for a minute is it's hard to watch consistently because of how dark it gets.
It gets real dark, yeah.
I mean, it's like I got to be in a mindset where it's like, okay, I got like a hot cocoa and a blanket, so I feel safe. So
sometimes you got to rock yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? Just tell yourself it's going to be okay. Yeah, 100%. You know. Were we fighting in an orphanage with a bunch of innocent kids and face-melting demons running around? Yep, that definitely happened.
The fun part for me is I can't watch consistently, so it might have. I don't know.
Oh, we absolutely fought in an orphanage. And let me just be clear. It's not if we were like, hey, guys in the orphanage, you're in danger. We were going to adopt our son and meet the other person who's going to adopt a son, who turned out to be some kind of weird celestial demon thing that our paladin was having a hard time hitting because apparently radiant doesn't bother him too much. Which, Flandy, have you gotten to use that mace yet? I feel real bad. You got this shiny ass bright mace, and he's just been dying to hit somebody who deserves it with it, and I don't think he's had a chance to.
I mean, that's kind of cruel to give a guy who's kind of forced into heavy armor and stealth disadvantage and give him a mace that makes his ass shine. Stealth is hard enough.
We thankfully don't have too many stealth things because most people are waiting to traumatize us. So it's not like we have a lot of opportunities for it. No, y'all keep stealing my kill shot. Exactly.
I feel your pain. Because Clay's a paladin, and you know what paladins like to do? Smite on crits. You know what I don't do? Crit. I don't crit. That's just a thing that I don't do.
Yep. It was funny. Introducing monsters downstairs. Yes, that's true. I was fighting and I was in the middle of the room, right? Like I wasn't by a window. I'm not an idiot, right? Like if there's bad guys coming, I'm not going to be like the wizard's not standing in the doorway like doing the Gandalf, like you shall not pass, because I'll just get trucked. But Yeah, I was in the middle of the room and they just like phased through the wall and slapped me with these spiky tentacles about 14 times. It was bad. But we made it. Took a while. Yeah, they slapped a lot out of me. It was rough. I did get my first disintegrate off in that fight though, so that was cool. Alright, so I'm level 10. Oh, I gotta copy all this custom stuff into my Kenku now.
Yeah, you gotta copy plenty.
Yep. I was like, what am I missing? How about everything? Okay. Let's see. Tool proficiencies. I already have the cobbler's tools, thank you though.
Making shoes? Well, I guess you're a bone cobbler. That makes sense.
Cobbler. I'm cobbling them bones. At 3rd level, you replace one of your arms with a magically engineered prosthetic arm made out of bone and other materials, powered by a combination of artifice and necromancy. This bone arm can be used in all the same ways as your original arm, and you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your artificer spells. In addition, when you gain the arm, choose either claws or rays, which grants you a special weapon based on your choice. When you attack with that weapon, you can add your intelligence modifier instead of strength or dexterity to the attack damage rolls. Oh, that's nice. Attack and damage rolls. We're going to go with rays because I'm not building him to tank. That's what the Scarecrow's for. Any self-respecting necromancer is not actually going to be doing the tanking themselves. Unless you're a Death Knight, but then you're really more of like a knight than you are a necro, IMO. Kind of like loosely practiced stuff. I miss the old school, like 2nd edition Death Knights. Those guys are great. They'd whoop everybody's ass. They had cheap shots. They had like all this dark magic. It was great. Oh man. What am I doing?
Master of Intrigue. That's what it's called.
Class. Source type. Subclass, I guess.
Now, earlier I did rant about the help action a little bit because I think it's overused. I think it has its place, but it's usually not when it's applied. I will say I very much like the Mastermind Rogues bonus action from a distance help, specifically just because of the narrative elements you get to do. Played with did like a solo one-on-one game where I was a rogue, and so I just had other rogues that the DM would play as NPCs, and so he gave me a mastermind rogue, so he would just constantly be like, and as a bonus action he kicks a barrel over and it slides and knocks the guy's ankles out from under him, so you have advantage on your next strike. It's like, I like that. I like the hecticness of being able to introduce just the ways you justify help with 30 feet.
Oh, that makes sense. I like it.
Plus, it is limited specifically to aid somebody in an attack, so it's not spammable, abusable, 30-foot range help on everything. I'm doing everything I can to put off spell selection. That's always the rough
Wow, you get
part.
some really cool stuff here. Fortified Bones. At 9th level, you learn to make or procure superior fortified materials for crafting undead, which allows you to patch up your creations or even yourself after great injury. As a bonus action on your turn or part of the bonus action, you can command your undead minion. You can expel a spell slot, so you can basically heal them through that. Or, when I cast Animate Dead, the undead that I create are fortified by materials used in their creation. Each skeleton or zombie is created with resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage, non-magical attacks, as well as resistance to your choice of either fire, cold, or lightning damage.
I do like that you basically are just becoming Dr. Frankenstein over there.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I was to say, this feels very Frankenstein-y now. Oh my god.
When you create an undead...
Also, I heard the incredible amounts of shit y'all were talking when I was gone.
What?
I don't know to what you are referring.
Maya also wanted to point out that you made a brain damage chart and used it
make a brain damage
in game.
All right, look, I didn't use the brain damage chart was in reference to an NPC. Okay, it was also an enemy. He was a bad boy. He was a demon thing. He was a demon devil. Weird thing. But listen, it's not like I gave a brain damage table to you guys. It was like, you got to roll on this if I hit you too hard, you know?
I mean,
if I hit you hard enough, then you got brain damage. You got to figure out what it is. One of their buddies, their Celestials, came across a really bad dude, and he has an ability to turn evildoers into pure glass. So he started that, and it starts at the head, and the demon interrupted him, unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately, I suppose. So half of his head was glass, and therefore part of his brain was just not working. So every time it was his turn, I had to roll on a D4 chart to see how much functionality he had. And he rolled really well, actually. I think for the most part, he acted pretty normally, but there was like 1 or 2 rounds where he just used all of his movement to go in like a random direction. But it kind of worked out just because he had a few rage things anyway. But yeah, I'm not excited, Maya. I'm just explaining. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Who here has lobotomized demons against their will in their campaigns?
Who here has living creature, whatever, as an active doorbell, just perpetually tortured?
I don't know if she's alive, really. I mean, that's up to you guys to figure out. But
she's writhing in pain, so regardless of the status of alive or not, she is in pain.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are in pain.
Yeah, no, not like on display in the front door of some place. It's not the same. Get the fuck out.
I mean, you have a sword that cuts and burns people to death.
Yeah, you gave me that. This is a point for me, not you.
No, I mean, but it's not like you don't use it.
Yeah, but that's a quick death, you know. Ravaya in here trying to. She's like me, you know. It's just it's power shots for Cruz, you know. I'm not trying to hit somebody 35 times. If I hit you like once, that's. So
remember when you cut off the head of a Duergar hero, and then you kicked the head.
I did.
Towards some more Duergars in an effort to demoralize. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are Duergar slavers, and Ravaya is keen on freedom. It's not very happy to see that kind of shit. So yeah, no, she's yeah. I remember when you asked me to roll the I think Dex check to see how accurate it was, and it was fucking dead on.
It was
I was like, damn.
That's exactly
I was gonna take up soccer after this. But 1 sec, I'll be right back one more time.
Just run.
Don't talk shit.
That's an impossible. Yeah, she did go. Not really bowling. It was like a good soccer kick, you know. I think that covers everything. Now I got to add in all my spells, which is a lot. Oh, and my undead minion. Shit. So we need an NPC sheet.
Who's gone?
You're so mean to me. Do you guys know that for like years?
I mean, if you just take one of the other sheets and make it an NPC, I think.
You know, for years, Foos didn't want to meet my son. Years. I had to convince her to make this happen.
I need you to stop that right now. That is inappropriate. In other words. Also, as Joe mentioned, yes, you can grab one of the other sheets and then hit NPC, I believe.
I mean, maybe so, but I'm not much more interested in this drama. He just started laying out.
Wait, it's all right. Yeah, fine. No, just go for it. Yeah. Tell them about your son. Where are you going?
See how vitriol? She that's his aunt. That's rough. No. It's I don't have any children. We make a joke that we used to play Warframe a lot, and your operator is very much can be like a child, and she refused to play Warframe with me, so I used to always make fun of her and be like, "Boy, when are you gonna meet my son?" And she always said no. Well, she eventually said yes, but it was years, literally years. I will say with a little bit of sadness that Flandy's son was cooler than my son. But
that is I love you, but
Yep.
that game is so ugly. It genuinely hurts me to look at it.
I'm not saying it's the prettiest thing in the world, you know.
Oh, sorry, what Maya said kind of killed me. That's amazing. So, I wanted to open up Nennis' character sheet and get a look at your bone gobbler. Is his name Chortle?
His name is Chortle.
I love that. That's great. You're currently on spell, so I'm gonna fuck your shit up and move to the other side.
No,
That was
I'm gonna.
pretty
Goddamn woman, I gotta move.
Predators!
Oh, come on.
Healy has insight and religion so far. We'd love to see that.
That's all we need.
Yes, Nenners, hit me with those low perceptions. We love it.
All day.
Although +2 is the highest I think you've had in a very long time.
That's what Valen has.
Oh, really? I thought you had +1. Ah, look at that. Yeah.
Get out of here, Flandy.
That's because your son is yes. What does that mean?
My son. I think he in that game. I think he smokes a lot of pot.
Okay.
He says the dumbest shit. He always sounds baked. We fought.
He always sounds baked.
It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Who's just thinking of ways to lower his perception? I'm not. That's one of the many things that whenever
Just can we go
Nenners
back
is
so
like,
I can finish.
You can go back. You can go back.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. You're good. Are you chaotic neutral? Is that what I saw?
No.
I love it.
Oh, I didn't even think about alignment. That's a whole other ball of wax.
Oh, yep. Oh man.
Did I minimize that? I did. You monkey.
Of course you did.
For anyone watching that still uses alignment, learn from their mistakes. Don't use alignment.
I think it has some applicable
It
things.
doesn't.
It does.
Doesn't though.
It does.
You can play however you want. If you want to be a grumpy boy like Joe and not use it, that's fine. You can go ahead and not use
Well,
it.
there's like certain spells and like, all right, especially for paladins, right? Like, since you like them so much, right?
I do.
There's a specific code that you guys should be following.
Yeah, but the code has nothing to do with alignment.
Yeah, it does.
They have tenets. You follow the tenets, not your alignment.
But the tenants kind
They
of
might-
dictate your alignment.
They might adhere to an alignment, but an alignment is a description of your personality and your moral ethics. So just
Right.
have a personality and moral ethics and skip the label. The label's irrelevant. The
label's needed for game mechanics. I'm not saying
They're-
it's necessary to play. If you draw some cards from the deck of things, it could flip your alignment. But
Oh,
you
well,
can't really say like, all right, well, you're EBG, whatever you want to call yourself. I forgot what the it's like what's it called? The personality profile acronyms were. You can't just like, no one knows what that is, right? No one has. There's
Well,
like
no,
it's
I
a
don't
quick and
either.
easy way to just say, okay, you're no
There
longer
are-
lawful good. You are now chaotic evil. That
I'd
it's
say less than 10 things mechanically do interact with alignment in the whole game, probably.
I'm just saying it's just there for that. You
Sure,
can,
but in
I
that
think most-
example, it's like, okay, my alignment flipped. All right, cool. Here's my internally moral ethics. I flip those. Nailed it.
right, but most people wouldn't know like what that means right off the bat.
Well, most people should get good.
Exactly.
That's
not
Like,
fair.
I think it's really
That's
good
not
for,
fair. I
Usually-
think it has a purpose for people who don't. I'm just saying, I play a lot of D&D, and
Yeah, yeah.
exactly once in any of my campaigns has it ever come up. And that's because my DM was using some homebrew stuff that did stuff based on alignment. He's like, "What's your alignment?" It's like, "Oh, I never wrote one down." It's like, "Oh, well, shit."
Well, I mean,
Because this
protection
affects you
against-
based on this, so I had to pick. I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, keep me honest.
protection
This
from
is what I
evil
think
or
it would
good.
be."
Yeah,
That
stuff
doesn't
like
do
that.
alignment. It's based on beast type. It's Fey and Fiend and
Oh, I'm thinking of freaking Pathfinder. Yeah.
I mean,
you're-
I've definitely had things where, like, based on their alignment, certain NPCs who could sense that kind of stuff or were like divine in nature had different interactions with people because of that. It's never been a thing that's like, here's a thing that you never get to get because you are this or that or whatever. But like, for example, was this? I think this was actually like our first recording. Oh, thank you. I got dinner right under my arm. I think it was like our first recording, but they encountered some like crazy, very powerful Celestials who were trying to be hidden, essentially. So when they were having conversations with, I think, 4 of the team members, it wasn't everybody, but they only kind of trusted the lawful good ones at the time. Thank you. So the others who didn't really know what was going on, or like, they didn't know anything was different, essentially, but the lawful good people were getting like the full conversation, and the others who weren't were kind of like getting snippets, but it seemed like just weird jump cuts almost, because they were kind of like erasing certain information from them as they were saying it. So they were like, that was weird. Did we get an answer to that question? Like, what's happening? So in that case, it was kind of fun, and I didn't say anything out loud to the players because I kind of, like, the night before I knew that they were going to encounter this, so I had a chance to look over all their sheets, and I was like, you guys are going to get the full picture, and the others are not. And it took them a little while to get it, not too long, but when they figured it out, it was kind of like a fun thing to play with. And then there was another time where, like, the really good paladin picked up a super evil weapon and had a very bad reaction to it, and, you know, things like that I enjoy having fun with, but... And yeah, as Maya was saying, if anything is like required to be something, I hate that. Fully hate that.
Yeah, I get that, and I see what Joe's saying too. Like, if you're playing a character, obviously they're more complex than the label often provides, and I totally understand that. But at some point, there might be a mechanic that needs... I just see it as a description of your soul of the character and how that might interact with some mostly magic for the most part, or beings of that are capable of reading or interpreting that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I think it only comes into play in terms of like a negative for characters whose classes specifically require them to be of a you know, paladins, clerics, stuff like that, where you'd have to be you know, people are complex, and yeah, some people are good at some things, and some people see things completely different. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, either way, and it always comes down to do whatever the fuck you want. Have fun, do what you want, enjoy what you enjoy. So, Senor Paladins all the time, Pally time, Pally. What is a feat of yours that you love to give to Pallies? Because I have a few in mind, but I was just curious because you've made 37. If you're like, that's my go-to feat every time, pick that one up. Can you hear Dubs beatboxing in the background?
Do what you want.
I heard.
Is he singing the Living Color song?
No, but he is singing. Sorry, Joe, what you were saying?
20. Ooh,
We're very professional here. But yeah, Joe, if you have any go-to feats.
Go-to feats. Let me look at the feats to remind myself of the feats, because I feel like there's probably a couple that are... I mean, tough is always a good feat. It's one of those that doesn't matter what your build is, you can always use more health. I sometimes will like skill expert or skilled to like fill those holes, because when you're not playing a bard or a rogue, it feels very lacking. Resilient is something I didn't used to take, but basically every barbarian I make now needs resilient to have wisdom saving for proficiency.
Yep.
Because I've been mind controlled one too many times. Heavy Armor Master is one I'll sometimes lean on, because I'll build fighters. I'll go towards heavy armor just because I don't want to split my points between strength and dex. I think it needs to be reworded to not say non-magical, because that just means it's worthless by level 7.
I agree.
Great Weapon Master is one I have a love-hate with, because the damage buff is nice, but I mean, in theory, there's a lot of ways to counter the negatives of that -5 to your roll, but I roll like shit, so I've definitely lost people to the Great Weapon Master because I just never hit anything. Fighting Initiate's a big one. I consider that for most characters. Getting a fighting style is huge. Magic Initiate is one I like. I like it a lot on a rogue. I haven't built a straight rogue in a while, but I will typically look at Magic Initiate. because you get 2 cantrips, Mending and Prestidigitation, and you get a first level spell, which is Disguise Self. You can cut out a hole in a window, go through, fix it with magic. You can turn off all the lights with Prestidigitation, and you can look like whoever you need to. It's such a good rogue feat if you're playing a game where you get to do that sort of like infiltrate, break in, heist level thing. It's not necessarily going to be present in every campaign, so it's not necessarily going to be useful all the time. But no, Fighting Initiate is the one I think about a lot. Grappler I want to think about for characters, but it's not as
it's
good
not
as one.
there yet. It needs some tweaking to make it kind of worth it, I think. But yeah, Slaney caught the gay rogue. First, I want you to know that I had another joke to line up with that, but I was like, that's too much. That's something that should be a Flaney thing and not a Foos thing, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, there's rogues are fun, for sure. I think the issue with some of the D&D feats are like they're mandatory almost depending on what class you're going. Like if you're a caster and you plan on having any sort of concentration, which is pretty much all of them, like you have to take Warcaster.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, assuming you're not in a super playful, not a serious kind of campaign.
I normally don't take Warcaster. I see why you should. And part of that is because I'm like, well, I should, so therefore I won't. But
I won't, yeah, exactly.
I also tend to be like, I'm willing to sacrifice my primary casting stat for better con.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the right choice mathematically, I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I always I know that like as much as Netters has said many times, and I have agreed with him many times, where a lot of us are gamers first and then role players afterwards. So a lot of times it's like we gotta be as efficient as possible. One of the things that like it was definitely very like min-maxy, and it bugged me at the time. Like now it doesn't really bug me as much because you guys are higher level and it's fine. But there was a player, I'm not naming names, don't worry, who had, when we were like level 6, I think it was, he made sure he had the resilient feat and then like made sure his con was already maxed out. So with that, his saving throw at level 6 as like a caster class was like a +10, and he got advantage. So like at level 6, nothing is hitting you for like 45, so like your DC, your AC, or your DC, you have to basically roll like 2 natural ones to fail, no matter what. Like you're just gonna keep that spell up forever. And as both a player and a DM, I enjoy failure at times because I think it makes things more interesting. Like I don't want everything to succeed. And even as a player, like there are times where like if I fuck up, I'm like, okay, cool, that means fucking Euphemy's up to bat, or like, it gives the opportunity for something else or someone else to kind of step up. So whatever, it's just like, I'm going to cast a spell and then it's going to just stay up. But like, there's no drama or anything fun in that. Like I didn't like it very much, but at higher levels, obviously it wasn't much of an issue, but at that level, I was like, man, that is some cheese. Goddamn. But yeah, like you survived a hard ass boss fight where you unlock where you got your ass beat. You've unlocked toughness.
Yep.
I do like that.
That was my excuse for Valen getting resilient after that crazy night he had. Just him surviving it.
I will say that is an interesting thing, having found your community. Thank you again, Mark Songs, for bringing us all together.
Nope.
And made some good friends and appeared on your channel a few times. I'm not a gamer first, so it's an interesting difference in mentality. And I think part of it is because I roll like shit, so I'm like, I don't care about all the bonuses. I'm still gonna fail. How do I have fun failing? And then I don't need to build an optimized character. And there's nothing wrong with building an optimized character, because I can tell you sometimes it doesn't feel great. In a different campaign, we're level 16. Right. I'm a melee fighter in that campaign. His class breakdown is 14 warlock and 2 fighter. He is not a hexblade. That's a rough position to have put myself in, because I get 1 attack per turn. Hitting the shit.
That is rough. Wait, you're not a hexblade. I was like, they get it at 5.
No, not a hexblade. Super cool homebrew class from my DM. He's in the world. There's like a sort of avatar of like the goddess of nature that's this giant wolf thing. And after some people had attacked it and we stopped in and stopped it, they affected it. So we rewrote the whole subclass to reflect what we had done in the campaign. When my original character died, I was like, I want to work with that lore because that's super cool. And he gets some cool stuff, and it's offset his a little bit because he's got like a summon that he can use with his bonus action. So he's got action economy, but still, primarily, I play it as if I'm going to hit some people. So I have to get creative to be effective, and sometimes I'm not. But I'm most effective taking hits, and that's fine.
Really? The Warlock
best
in my
being a
campaign
pinata.
is really good at taking hits, too.
It's mostly due to some decent armor class and some really good hit points. Not as good as I was. I was playing Blood Hunter Barbarian before. He also homebrewed like a horoscope thing. So based on what sign you're born under, you get effects. And I told him straight up after I retired that character because he died, I was like, you need to change how this sign works, because what it is, if you roll when you roll for health each level, you, instead of whatever the die value is, you add 1.5 times the die value.
Oh, wow.
So I had a high con character getting a time and a half his normal health, and then I raged. I was like, yeah, I can feel the work you're putting in to make a challenge for me that doesn't kill everybody else
Right.
by default. Change that. I'm not going to pick it this time because it's terrible for you. I didn't know that going in.
Did you
But
see
yeah.
the particular words that Maya chose for describing some of the horrors that Roland has gone through? Nanners?
I'm sorry, what's up? I was reading what my minion should be. What did you need?
You're fine. No, I was like, there's no way he's paying attention right now. Maya was talking about how we have a warlock who also takes a lot of beatings. And the first is, never has a man survived such an aggressive attempt to finger him.
Oh.
You
Well,
finger
I
him, deathed
mean,
him like, what was that, 4, maybe 5 times that one fight?
it's 4 or 5 times, yeah. And, I mean, the last one would have got him, too, man. He had to burn the very rare inspiration to make it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Nanners is not one to give us inspiration. Also, I just have to ask Flandy a quick question because you're here. For this paladin that I'm building, should I get protection from poison, or should I not get protection from poison?
get out of here with that weak shit. Real men don't
From
need
your-
protection from poison.
Oh my god, their fucking one-shot adventure where they had to choose their spells, and Flandy was like, "We don't need protection from poison, right? We don't. What do we? We don't need it." The like whole fucking adventure was basically poison based. there was poison filled rooms, poison filled chests, a hag who shot poison at them. And like I listened to them deliberate about this in the beginning, and I couldn't say shit. And like they came back to it like 3 or 4 times, and then he chose against it. And at the end, he's like, "I should have fucking taken protection for poison. This is bullshit. Poison
That
filled
whole
grass, yeah, exactly."
And remember when you had me animate the body of the hag to close the lid on the on the poison-filled chest right after I renounced necromancy?
Open and then close. By the way,
Yep.
you had to
Mage
pop
hand,
the body
yeah, exactly.
over to the fucking
Yep.
chest, have it open, and like the body just got like a face full of poison eking out of the, and then you were just like, "I'm just gonna close it." Oh my god, it was terrible and
Oh, God.
hilarious. But yeah,
True,
and then,
not necromantically. That is
correct. And it healed her. Yeah, it did. Just a little bit every time. She would absorb poison. It was nasty. Find Steed is the exact reason why Rusi exists in my campaign.
Second best
Flandy
spell in
was
the
like-
game.
Yeah. He was like, "I love this, but like I want it to be something. I don't want it to just be like
I don't want
I
to
don't know.
be
just
patient.
like a nameless thing," and that's why he got Rusi. And it cracks me up because some people were like, "Why don't you let Rusi like basically level up with him?" And I was like, "I'm fine with that. Obviously, I'm totally fine with that. He's not supposed to have a giant blink dog for free. I gave him a giant blink dog for free. He's fine." Look, Rusi will stay Rusi forever. She's not gonna update until you get Find Greater Steed, and then she'll be updated that way. But right now, Rusi is Rusi. But
Was it? That's what, level 5? You gotta be getting close, right?
level 5 spell, yes.
Level 4 spell, and it's level 13.
Bro, you're gonna get that soon.
Level 13 for paladins.
Yeah, look at you.
Next level.
No, Find Greater Seed is my favorite spell in the game. I'm very aware of how you get it. Sometimes you want to make a lore bard just so you can get it at level 10, 3 levels too soon. And sometimes you want to cheese the game by making a level 6 lore bard who multi-classes into... It might only be 1 or 2. It might still work out to be level 10 where you get it. No, it would be. Level 10 is when you get... Hold on. No. Whatever. I think it's level 7 you get access to 4th level spells normally. Is that right? So yeah, if you multi-class into a caster, then you technically have a 4th level spell slot, even though you don't know any spells. So then the 6th level extra spells that you get at level 6, not 6th level spells, but at level 6, it just says a spell of which you can cast. So at level 7, you can get Find Greater Steed if you really want to make that the whole point of your character. And you shouldn't, because mounted combat sucks in D&D. I want it to be cool, but it's not.
Incoming, can I tell you about Pathfinder? I feel like that is like that guy around the corner who's like, you want to buy Pathfinder?
No, I wasn't saying anything. I'm not a huge fan of bards.
Yeah, in general. Man.
Yeah.
That's just the better thing, though.
Well, I think they should be a different class. Like, I think they should be like... Did you ever play Pillars of Eternity? There was a chanter class in there, and basically they would sing songs and things, and those songs would give you buffs. And then they could do like martial things or castery things, but they were never full-on casters. It was like the performance was really strong, and it would like it could make or break a fight. That to me is more what a bard should be, right? It should be like inspiring you, like doing some really cool stuff. I cannot, like you're talking about breaking immersion, a bard counterspelling like a lich with a level 9 spell. With the strum of his lute, I cannot tie those two together. Like, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. If they had an ability specifically that was like white noise or some kind of crazy audio like nonsense that they can maybe produce and then like jar up somebody's like verbal spell, or somehow manipulate it, that'd be easier for me. But the fact that these guys can cast like...
Is that why you don't mind my
spells.
my ranger bard guy when he was interrupting your spells with noise?
Anybody who interrupts me on spells makes me mad anyway, because I don't roll well. So if you're going to tell me I have to roll... Like, I built Valen not to roll. Like, Valen 2.0 is non-rollable. He doesn't roll for shit. And when you make me roll, and I roll under 10, because statistically that's what I do, it makes me mad.
Oh my god! Yep.
Because that's the whole reason he is the way he is.
There's a question I don't know the answer to off the top of my head. Not to train to the thing, but back to character building for a second.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
Does Green Flame Blade interact with Sneak Attack? I think it does. It's a melee attack.
I imagine it would, right? Because it's just a matter of like...
Because you make the normal attack
extra
part of the cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I'm going to take that.
I think so. I don't think it does.
I'm done, by the way.
You're good, man. Don't worry about it.
I'm down to
Hi,
picking
Vlad, how are you?
spells, but then yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess...
But yeah, it's... But so that always just shatters, because you have the sorcerer who has some kind of divine thing, and then the divine or demon or whatever, some kind of extra planar usually influence on their bloodline that allows them to cast spells and stuff. The wizard studies all the damn time. The warlock has sold the soul to do XYZ, and then you got the bard who's just like, let me rock. Let me kick around real quick.
Stop being jealous. No. It cracks me up that, I don't know. That's where you draw the line, I guess. Because in a way, it can just kind of be a flavor thing, exactly as you're saying, where like the counterspell is a fucking up of the sound or whatever it might be.
That was just an example.
On paper, I know. I hear what you mean. Like on paper, it sounds hilarious because it's just like a bard goes to college once and then they are geniuses.
They go to college once for music. you know, and end up being like, you know, I don't know, some crazy engineer. It's just it's weird.
On the one
That's
hand,
why I'm like, I get it.
it's all play pretend, so why not the bard making the spell? On the other hand, even though I can't give you a specific example off the top of my mind, I know I have shit like that where it's like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just
So I
there's
fully
a certain,
get what you're saying.
yeah, it doesn't go with my head canon for like the fantasy realm and that stuff. That's all. Especially when like it would have been fun to see them take more steps with classes that were unique in what they could bring to the table. Like if they could do something where it's like it's an AoE bless plus, I don't know, some other game mechanic thing I can't think of because I'm not a game designer. It'd be kind of cool, right? It's like, okay, you know, play me a song and you know, Dirge of the Lost or something, and you could do some cool. It would just, I think it would just be more flavorful and useful. And it makes it would also make for some interesting situations where, like, if you were trying to like stealth through, you know, an area, it's like you needed the buff. Is he just like a mimicking a street performer for the moment, or like you think there could be some fun things that come from that?
Oh, no.
This is the rhythm counters. Get out of here, buddy.
I read that as like very much interrupting that thing. Like, this is the rhythm of the couch spell.
I don't want. I have nothing wrong with liberal arts degrees by any means. It's, you know what I mean, and it's not an indicator of anything. It's just if you're trained in something, you know, that I just don't see it crossing. It's not even that magic is like a strictly intellectual thing, right? You've got the things that are like intrinsically magical, and that's fine. But I think music can do both, right? There's an element of sound design and, you know, music composure and stuff like that that is very academic. And then you have people who are more intuitive about it. I just don't see music on the same level as magic.
Music is magic, my friend.
Music is
I love
magic,
music.
Dennis.
Don't get me wrong. I love the shit out of music.
Dennis, music is magic.
Okay.
I mean, my instinct is to be like, well, what about, and kind of poke holes in your disconnect. But there's no point. It's a disconnect, and it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just not one I have, so I don't fully like feel what you're feeling. But no, it's there are things like that, and I wish I could give you an example that comes to my head because there are some that bug me. I know there are because I'm me, and things bug me.
I was like little. I think the way like if you want like another kind of immersion breaking, how casters get spells after levels. A huge reason why I even went towards the milestone was just to make it like a little more organic, right? It's like, oh, I killed this 8th fucking spider and bam, I now know fucking fireball and lightning bolt. Like it all just clicked when I shot
one of the
that
things,
guy
'cause
with a magic missile.
I have a buddy who has that same problem. He's like, I don't like level up because why did you just get a spell all of a sudden?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, sure, but the background assumption is that you're studying magic at night before each rest. And I guess my question is always, how much math homework do you want to role play?
True.
You never
but
really stop and say, I'm going to go take a shit, guys. It's just, there's certain things that happen off camera. I get what you're saying, though, because it does feel gamey when it happens.
Yeah, that's yes. Could you explain away? Absolutely. And maybe that's the responsibility between the player and the DM to cross that particular bridge. But even with like a sorcerer, though, it's like, what, you just fell asleep, woke up, and be like, hey, my dad,
Well,
the
with
Red
them,
Dragon,
yes.
taught me how to do.
That's literally exactly what it
For
is.
them, yes.
You know?
The magic within them grew to the point that they now know a thing, but it is.
Because like Warlock is easy. It's just like, you know, the demon's like, hey man, check this out. Now you can do it too. And yeah, the
honestly,
wizard could have been working on it, but yeah.
The like leveling in between some things really doesn't bother me too much, but I think, I don't know, like I guess just timing wise, I don't like the idea of it, I guess. I think it's just easier when it's like, okay, you guys have made it back from your crazy shit. As you're resting, you guys get this this level up as well, depending on what's going on. I know for like my shorter series, I kind of wanted you guys to level up pretty quickly, and it was like every other session or something, because I was like, I want to throw a big meaty boy at you at the end, and I need to make sure you can survive.
Yep.
So
You
like,
didn't. We could have all died.
yeah, you did. Everybody did. Everyone survived. So there's that.
Milestone allows you to control the pace, which I think is great
Yeah.
from like a narrative and a mechanic perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
I prefer it most because I don't want to have to keep track of experience.
That's the other
That
thing. Like,
too.
I was also so shocked at how quickly it happens. Because I kind of forgot about like some of the numbers and like how that works out and whatever. But I think when we first got back into 5e, we were doing experience points. Essentially, it wasn't. Neither of us were DMing. It was our other brother, and our brother. You only have one brother, Dennis. Sorry. Oh, you have two. Never mind. Anyway, it was our brother.
I keep collecting brothers. It's great.
You do. That's true. I just thought about that. You're up to a high number. Okay. But yeah, when we were doing the XP numbers, it felt like we just like sneezed on a rabbit, and they were like, "Congratulations, you're level 3." Like, and obviously, you know, we're low level, so yeah, we're going to be gaining levels faster. But it felt a little like too fast for me, I guess. And also, I think that's part of our play style, though, and especially like our brother's play styles. Like, he loved combat, and we fucking love combat too, so no complaints. So most of the time, we were doing lots of fights. So it made sense that yeah, we're gonna fly through levels if you're just fighting every session, every other session, whatever it might be. So that.
Also,
That
I don't know about
works,
you,
and I get
Fuse. We homebrew the shit out of all, more like 90% of our stuff, probably higher than that. I didn't put
Yeah.
XP. Like, I had an idea of like, okay, once you got past this goal, right? Like, once you stopped so and so, or when you guys killed Topiter, right? Like, that was a huge moment. Like, that is a growth moment for you guys. Hence the ding. But yeah, I never was like, oh, this guy's worth 16,000 and this guy's only 13,000. That's a level of math I didn't want to get involved in from like the creative process. But
Exactly that. Like, who wants to be doing math and some shit? Like, just whatever. I think it's just easier for everyone all around to just be like, this seems like a good time. You leveled up. Congratulations.
Speaking of the creative process, that is the other thing, and it's not to call out the difference between gamers and role players again. It's to compliment you both. You both tell really good stories with really good settings. It doesn't feel like you're there to play a game, and that's it. Like I said, the first time somebody had said that, I was like, really? Because you both do what you do well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think a lot of that was relatively new-ish for us in terms of like playing D&D. When we were younger, we played it very much like a game, and like back then role-playing was well, at least the people we played with. I can't speak to everyone's experiences, of course, but like it was encouraged, but it wasn't like the focus. And like what your character shenanigans could get into was funny, but it wasn't necessarily like get into your role like as intensely as it might be like now, I think. And maybe that's just because like we're adults and we want to find more depth in what we do, because I know that's like almost a problem for Nenners and I. Like a lot of times when we see something, we're like, it's too shallow. I need more depth. Give me more shit. So I think it's kind of a relatively new-ish thing. And I know both for, hi Mogley, how are you? I know both for me and Nenners, we have always had kind of like stories rattling around in our heads for a while. And I think this is also that opportunity to like do that and explain that and explore that, and also give people a chance to kind of obviously roleplay and hopefully have a good time, depending on what it is. Baby in the ocean deep. Exactly. You got it. Oh my God. Look at that spelling of Vogel that Maya just did.
wow.
Incredible.
Okay, I didn't even read it as that. It was so.
I was like, what the hell?
I will say, Maya, the irony about your statement about the wizard is the player for the barbarian is probably better at math than the player for the wizard is, just based on the numbers they have to calculate on a regular basis, especially at higher level. So from like a player perspective, they're getting more math homework. But yeah, the barbarian. It's gonna be like,
never
"Who?"
forget when like earlier, well, not earlier on, actually no, it was, I think it was in like super early Critical Role, when Travis had like a fucking sheet that he would pull up to like get the math out really quickly, because you know at that point they were kind of new to the streaming and he didn't want to sit there for 45 minutes being like 63, you know. So
Yeah.
he had a little like chart that he would pull up and be like, if I rolled this then the output, because of all my rage and blah 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 blah, it means that. And oh my god, yeah, exactly as you said. Like, ironically, a barbarian player would perhaps be better with math than a wizard character, or player, excuse me.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to actually kind of ask the two of you, because it came up in a Twitter post of a friend, Mandy, I think she is on Twitch. I'm actually gonna try and shout her out if I remember correctly. Mandy, I think it's 2 eyes. Who knows? Can you only shout them out if they're here? I don't know. I nailed it. All right, the Mandy, she's awesome. But she was posting questions about kind of like, she does like DM questions of the day. And the last one she did, I think yesterday, I don't know what time it is, was asking whether people prefer digital or physical dice to be rolled. And almost everyone was like, I love physical dice. I'm like, I do too. I will never say I don't love physical dice. But one of the reasons I was saying that I love virtual dice also is for reference. Because like, if we forget or we fuck something up and we're like, oh shit, you had resistance, how much did you get hit for? You know, we don't have to be like, I think you said 11, but maybe it was 34. I don't know. You know, like, we could just scroll up and be like, right there, you know. And yeah, as Vogli is saying, the other part is like, you don't have to do math, right? Like that little joke about like bringing up that sheet. Instead, you're just like, just click that button. The number's going to come up for you. Don't worry about it. And of course, I will always prefer like physical and having it in your hands and all that. But there are some benefits that I really appreciate about the digital dice as well, that I think a lot of people are just like, I just miss the physical dice. I hear you, and I agree. But
Long live macros.
Yeah, I think
there you
for
go, yeah.
especially crunchy systems, I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing, you know, Pathfinder in BTT, is to get rid of some of the crunch that new players might be like, oh my god, what do I have to add to this, and that? It can get very complex if you're not used to it. But I mean, as someone who's getting done god awfully dirty in Roll20, which is weird because I'm paying them to screw me, and I'm not really sure I like that relationship. But my rolls statistically are like so far below average. It's just like when I'm at the table, I'm fine. It's not that, but yeah, I'll roll low occasionally, but it's not like,
oh,
a
you
huge
call
thing.
yourself the president of the
But,
Low Rollers Club? I roll
man,
shit everywhere.
All right. Well,
Mister.
when we have our get together,
do the
you
two of
swing on
you-
down.
Do the two of you have a D20 in your? I would love a game of rollies real quick. Best out 2 out of 3.
Oh, I think it's
if
in
the
my
two of you
other.
have.
I keep my
definitely
dice in
don't
my
have 'em here.
car because then they're at a moment's notice.
You don't have any like else in the.
I do
car?
have dice in the house.
Okay.
My gemstone dice are in the house because I don't roll them very frequently because they're expensive.
I have to get up
yeah,
to it.
it's
Hold
beautiful.
on.
No,
Let's see
they
if I can
were
find it.
very splurgy and unnecessary. But I was looking at
Whoa.
dice literally yesterday, and I was like, "These are some nice gemstone. These are some nice metal." And I know for a fact I
Ooh.
don't need them.
And speaking of very nice dice and such, one of my favorite that actually Flandy got me some from there because he was a splurgy boy. Thank you very much, Flandy, but also bad boy Flandy. I've been wanting to get some from this website for a while, but my brain is like, $70 for a set, but it's so beautiful. I will do it eventually. I know I will, but I don't know if it's your wizards or you are wizards. Whatever. They make some fucking.
I can
beautiful
tell you,
shit.
it's you are wizards. Because
it?
that's the gemstone dice set I just went and got.
Oh
That's not
shit!
very focused. I can't make it focus.
You gotta do the makeup thing where you hold it up and put your hand behind it.
That's a thing? I'll believe you.
That's the thing. Hold on. Pull it back just a little bit. Come on, you can do it, camera. Focus. I
Doesn't
cannot. You're just struggling. Put a picture in our Discord. I'd love to see them if you don't mind.
I have before, but I will share it again.
Oh, well, shit. I will not be mad about seeing it one more time.
You want to roll off, my friend? I'll tell you
I don't know if
this.
he has his
No.
headphones on yet.
Oh. Well, my comment there was just to point out that you literally can't roll lower than I just did, so...
Oh shit, he already rolled. Nenners, you got stiff competition, my man. I don't know if you heard, but it's not good.
Let's see. Let's go to Discord.
Hello.
And then there's
I think mine are in my room somewhere, and I do not want to be digging around.
It's okay.
that
There's no
long.
point. I found my dice. I rolled a crit fail
Awesome.
immediately.
Oh,
So
all
there
right.
was the best you could do was tie.
well, Nenners, you can use our macro in the stream to do it because Flandy just rolled a 2. Oh my God, Maya rolled a 20. Let's go, girl.
Let's see here. What's gonna be
Oh
easier
shit! Look
to-
at you, Nenners.
God damn
Look
it.
at you.
I'll take a
Look
15.
at you.
I will say you did see my initial rolls
There
for
you
the
go.
this character with what is it, the 9, 10, 10, 5, 12
I mean,
or
that
something like
wasn't
that.
great.
Like,
That wasn't great.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, I gotta name this
was-
guy and give him some equipment, but I think I have completed
Oh.
my work.
I'm definitely not naming him today.
yeah. What's up with your boy Venge Pally Fuse? Come on.
Venge Pally.
What's going on? What did you multiclass into? That's the important bit.
I didn't because I was like,
Necromancer.
I was yapping so much with you guys that I was like, I'm not gonna multi-class right now, but I'm gonna do it another time. Because I was looking at the numbers and then I just got pulled into you guys talking shit about me. I appreciate it very much, Nenners. How dare you? But now I fully intend on probably revisiting. I'll probably do it for if we do this again, another stream. But that being said, though, we are kind of a little past our time. That's mostly because I had to restart everything because shit wasn't working, and then it wasn't working anyway. So it's been a jank stream. It's been a good time though. I appreciate both of you hanging out with me. But I'm gonna let you guys do a tour of your character. And then our outros, if you guys want to tell people where they can find you, and then yeah, we can get going. I was talking about turbos didn't stop Nenners from making this dude. No, of course not. Get good. How dare you? Because I have him up right now. We have a mastermind rogue and a fiend warlock multi-class here. Do you wanna walk us through what we got here?
Yeah, sorry. I was looking, I was like, you know what? I realized that I've integrated protection, but I also opted for mage armor as an invocation. But it looks like they stack, so that's fine.
Well, that's good.
Because it doesn't say +1 to your armor's effectiveness. You just have +1 AC in general. You know what? I don't know, though. That's a good question, as whether or not that would stack. Because technically, mage armor rewrites what your AC calculation is. We'll have to revisit that.
Mm-hmm. Nenners is very familiar with mage armor because anytime anything slightly bad happens, Nenners is like, mage armor!
I mean, you got.
I mean, I don't know why I bother. Fuse rolls like 25 or above when she's swinging at my wizard, so it's like
Listen,
you
kind of
know,
like.
okay.
I also say I'm done, and I didn't explore whether I wanted to do a stat up or feat for level 4 warlock, but that's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine. I'm mostly done. So this to be named later warlock is a level 3 mastermind rogue and 7 warlock with the fiend patron. So made a deal with the devil, gone awry. Now he's trying to gather enough souls to fix it, and those souls don't matter. So
Hey, what are you doing with the bodies after you're done with the souls?
I mean, nothing in
Oh my
particular.
goodness.
Well,
Okay.
I guess I'm not killing them. That's I'm getting people to sell their souls for contracts. So I'm not killing anybody necessarily.
All right.
Kit, are you here? Nenners is treating or making sure the necromancers are being represented.
But
I was just trying to see if we had some synergy going, you know.
I mean, I will help you with whatever body parts you need because they're
Excellent.
not anything to me. But in general, so because this would be kind of like off, and I wouldn't like kill someone and drain their soul. It would be in a tavern making persuasion checks to be like, hey man, you could turn your life around. Sign right here in the book because I did do Pact of Tome. I was thinking talisman as like a token from the demon kind of theme, but I was like, you're right, it's boring mechanically. So I did Mastermind mostly because I like Mastermind, and I didn't want to go Assassin because that one's just the one. I thought about Soul Knife for a minute because I liked manifesting the weapons,
Life's really
but
cool.
I liked extra languages, the forgery kit to be able to, and then mimicking people. All that felt like tools to deceive people into doing what I needed them to do. I didn't take some of the more roguey things as skill proficiencies. From the background, I get deception and stealth from just criminal background. But I took athletics because I can't not. It hurts me not to take athletics.
Yeah. I get very similar. Like, even if I play a character that has nothing to do with strength, I'm like, but I want athletics.
And then I took acrobatics, and then I gave him insight so he can read people, and persuasion to convince them, because it's about that. Oh, I forgot, because I can get one additional skill proficiency for being a robot. So, real quick, a warforged, a robot.
Also, Maya's still like reeling from when she made her low dex cleric, and she was like, "This is garbage. I hate this. My initiative is garbage. My stealth is garbage. My acrobatics is garbage. I'm never playing a low dex character again."
So I'm going to give him sleight of hand for the robot proficiency that I hadn't done yet. But yeah, with that, and I'd have to give him his expertise is going to be persuasion and one other thing. But then being able to do the help action at range is just one of my favorite things. You may or may not have had ears on when I was talking about it. I don't remember.
I did. I could hear, but I was walking.
Gotcha.
That's why I knew you guys were talking shit.
So yeah, being able to help at range in a specific context helps my deal with the help action. But then Dark One's Blessing from the Fiend pack, killing people, gives me temp HP. All about it. Pact of the Tome. I thought I had done spells. See, this is what the review does. It teaches you the 6 things you missed. So I would have to pick 3 more cantrips for the Pact of the Tome. And then level 6 Warlock lets you add a D10 to an ability check or saving throw. Does not even say... Oh, no, right here. Once per rest. Short rest included.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
that feels wrong. But invocations, I went with Armor of Shadows for free mage armor, Devil's Sight for extra dark vision that works in non-magical darkness. Mask of Many Faces.
I was yelling at everyone for screaming dark vision.
I don't scream it. I just
it's fine.
have
it's fine.
it.
No, I know that you're like, you were saying, I hate when everyone's like, I have dark vision,
Yeah.
But it's fine.
My problem isn't even you want your character abilities to be knowledge. That's fine. Too many people interrupt the DM. And it drives me insane. They're describing a scene. You shouting about it doesn't mean you get first in an initiative. Shut the hell up and let the DM talk. Sorry, I'm a curmudgeon. Mask of Many Faces as an invocation. I look at some of the ones. I always struggle to pick an invocation that lets me cast once per day using a warlock slot. I don't have enough warlock slots. I don't want an invocation that uses one of them. Stuff at will is great. So Mask of Many Faces to disguise myself, to more trickery to get people to sign contracts, and Misty Visions to do silent image at will to again mess with people. So built on that, not necessarily built for combat. I think spells I took pretty effectively for that. And then we'd give him probably a rapier just because it's the rogue weapon of doing D8s to maximize on that sneak attack. Spells, where did we go? So I took a Green Flame Blade to combo with that. I took Eldritch Blast. It's not my favorite spell, but it's you got to make sure you have an effective tool when your spell slots run out. And you only have 2.
Exactly.
And then Prestidigitation because it's the easy all-purpose one. And Warlocks don't get Mending or Mold Earth. My probably 2 favorite cantrips. I love Mold Earth.
Oh.
But the Fiend gives him Burning Hands and Command, which feels very cool. Fire and then just compelling people is again part of those mind fucky, which is what I went with a lot. Hellish Rebuke is again fire, hex, make them easier to hit. Level 2, you get Blindness and Deafness, and then Blindness, Deafness, and Scorching Ray as your pact spells. So a lot more fire, and then the concept of just cursing somebody. And Enthrall isn't one I normally take. I was looking at Crown of Madness, but for reasons we'll get to in a minute, I didn't take it. I like that spell, being able to force people to attack, but it's one of those they get to save at the end of every round. But Enthrall can get a bunch of people, and they only have to hear you, which is super cool, because if you can just be loud, then they're just stuck thinking about your voice while you walk away do other shit. And then suggestion again to kind of mess with people.
Yeah.
But I took Enemies Abound as a 3rd level spell. And that's why I didn't take Crown of Madness, because I had to double take. I was like, it's the same spell. But Enemies Abound, you don't get to pick the target for them. It's at random. But they don't save every turn. They save if they take damage.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is the
Why
better.
it's the 3rd level.
Yeah. Then you get Fireball, which is just fucking Fireball's dope. You get that for the Pact.
Of course.
And Stinking Cloud, which is also fun. And I struggle with not picking Spirit Shroud, so I picked Spirit Shroud. It's just good.
I can't pass it up.
Because if you're going to mix any melee in, it's a good option to have in your back pocket. And then Fire Shield and Wall of Fire have their uses. They're not Fireball cool, but they are cool. But you can't be a Fiend Warlock and not take Summon Greater Demon.
Exactly.
You have to summon
100%.
Greater Demons. And then Blight, because it's dope.
Blight is dope. I fucking love Blight.
Dope.
I always loved using it as like a relatively hippie-ish character or something. Or if you're just like, hey, I love nature. Blight, bitch. Like things are rotting. I just love it because it's like, you know, it's still a part of nature and such. Also, Kit was asking Nenners to roll a d20 for him. So I don't know if you want to do that
in Roll20 or in Twitchman?
Well, fucking do it in both. Let's see what your average is.
Okay. Oh, it bothers. I'm so used to command line that like I just want to hit out the up arrow.
I'm just catching up on Trap. Eldritch Blast is your favorite, Boggle? You listed it in reverse order if that's the case. And that's fine. I'm just making sure I read it right.
Oh, it's dice 20.
Because you were responding to what I was saying, not to what you were typing. Okay, yes. I think it's a great spell. I think it's probably just as good as Firebolt. I don't know why it's as loved as it is. But that's fine. I just don't like it because it gets boring as a Warlock. It's like, yeah, Eldritch Blast. But, I mean, it's too good a tool not to have in your belt. That's why you try and mix it up and do some concentration stuff that'll last you a few turns, have the ability for melee, and just kind of flavor it well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that sets him kind of apart. But basically, the idea of being able to do control stuff, battlefield manipulation, mess with people outside of combat, just the flavor of trying to damn people for eternity for his own benefit. And then sneak attack, stabbing.
Stabbing! This is a really good guy, this ibuprofen dude.
No.
Let me tell you.
I gotta think of a name and what voice I would give him. Because, like I said, with bad guys, I tend to go posh or cockney, and neither feels right for a robot.
I forgot you said robot for a second. That's awesome.
It's such a hard well to pull out of because I do love the Cockney accent. He's so much fun. It hurts your throat, but he's one of my favourite voices to do. Anyway,
awesome.
that's
very much
Ibrofi for the moment until he gets a name.
Brophy. Yep, exactly. So Nenners, do you want to talk
What's
to us
up?
about your not at all dark character that you created named
My
Turtle?
character is not dark. He's got a wonderful name. He's ready to play.
He
He's
has
a nice
a good
guy.
name. I will absolutely admit that Turtle is a great name.
Hold on 1 second. I mean, I have so many tabs open. It's kind of comical.
Right?
I imagine.
Why did I put that other one?
Why not?
Anyways, yeah. So I made him a bone cobbler, which is a what's it called? An artificer subclass, which is very necromancy based, and the idea is you kind of cobble together body parts and fuse them, and you also have like a golem, like an undead golem of some kind that you can do all kinds of stuff with. So for something, whenever I go dark, I always have to have like an idea of why, like a motivation of what's going on. So I figured he was probably because Kenkus obviously have a really good ability to mimic, and if I was an evil bastard, I'd want one around so that I could have them like take notes or do like what is it? What's the word where like you're speaking aloud and they're writing it down? Dictation. Thank you. So stuff like that where they like. So he kind of was just adjacent to all this stuff, and evil guys eventually get got by the good guys. And my idea was that the necromancer he was serving got by a bunch of paladins and clerics of an undetermined god. I haven't really figured out what that would be yet. Probably Tyr or one of those really big, or Helm, one of those like fiery do-gooders kind of cats. But they left the what they considered the poor menials or whatever. But they got maybe a couple of the Kenkus, and he's using one of them as his bone cobbler buddy. And so yeah, that kind of dictates a lot of the stuff. I wanted him to be very offensive because whatever party he would be in, his secret goal is to wipe those guys out. And part of his proficiency is religion, so he can kind of manipulate. He's pretty smart, so he can either go to those churches or manipulate people to get out, or like just kind of on the sly kill these guys on the way in kind of situation. So depending on whatever god that I decided that was their enemy was going to be who he would actively go after. He does have specifics, but he's not a very moral person, so if you happen to be on that team, you're not on his team. But yeah, so that kind of dictates some of his obviously the arcana. I can't see how you would be in Magic at all and not have arcana as an option. But yeah, a little sleight of hand option for just the fact that he's a Kenku and probably had a somewhat less than legal life before he got hanging out with the Necromancer. He has a bunch of infusions. They're mainly combat focused, just because for defenses for himself. So the Bone Cobbler replaces one of your arms, like your for thing. So my visual for it was that like the joining where we're joined with the elbow is like a skull that's open and the arm comes out of it. And the eyes would be used as like your focus for beams and all kinds of cool stuff. But in addition to that, stealing a little bit from Fuzi's favorite game of all time, I wanted the shield that you can create as an infusion on his arm, so that if someone goes to attack him, he could hit it and like, rows of like either probably bones come out and form like a shield that he could have on him at will, in addition to the ability to zap the shit out of people. But yeah, so it's primary. I don't want to get too much in the weeds because the artificer's like, I got all these issues like being all day. But the one level 10 one he grabbed was the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, which were going to be on his Kenku Scarecrow, because he likes to mix it up, and and that's really the shocking part about it, right? Is the Scarecrow undead kind of guy who can actually wallop you. So along with the armor too, I wanted to have some kind of fancy, maybe armor that looks like black, like scale mail that looks like feathers maybe, or something to that effect. That's difficult to see. That would also be enchanted. The majority of his spells are necromancy, as you can imagine, with some of the kind of flavor. I picked up immovable objects, partially as an idea to set up a trap where you can like steal or grab one of their holy symbols, place it on the ground somewhere else where they can't get it, or like, away from them, and they go to pick it up, they can't pick it up. It's going to take them time to like figure out what's going on, which is going to allow you to wind up whatever spell you wanted to do, or set up whatever mob you wanted to set on these poor priests and clerics. Summon undead, obviously, because it's just an awesome spell. There's and it's also kind of flavorful too. I think fits really well. Animate Dead, he gets bonuses to that, where like I'm using very high quality bones, so they're resistant to damage and stuff. So that's fun. And then Chill Touch, I thought was necessary because if you're fighting people who can heal, then you're gonna need to chilly touch them, so they can't be out here. Yeah, man, Chill Touch is awesome. So that's kind of the overview of him. He's very offensive because he's kind of mad and wants to get back in the world, at least a very specific part of a religious world. And he's got the smarts to do it. So that's Chortle. I haven't Chortle his name is Chortle is because when he gets like excited or when he figures something out, he just kind of chuckles and chortles to himself. And
why is that cute? You just talked about it fucking bone cobbling.
Yeah.
The second you're like, he chortles, I'm like, he's adorable.
He
I love
chortles.
it.
You
Yeah.
haven't heard
so,
the
like,
chortle, because that can be not very cute.
That's
depending.
true too.
I want it because avians have this weird, like, they can see, because I think as humans we anthropomorphize like most animals, and specifically birds, and I think that's kind of something I wanted to play with a little bit, because it's like, oh, a raven's cute, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, he'll peck your eyes out if he needs to too, like, they're not we're
That's
just seeing
me.
what
I
we wanna
literally
see
just
with them.
did that.
Yeah. So that's kind of the dichotomy of Chortle. He does have some adorable mannerisms and is probably very like meekish in general, but he's doing he's got some people on a list he's trying to cross off. So
I will say, because you had asked about what I was doing with the bodies, and I was telling you that what's the point. You know what very much is the point that a demon I feel would approve of is signing away a deal, but like, yeah, sell your soul, you get this awesome thing in exchange, and then immediately getting them murdered. So they'd be like, yeah, no, I got the soul like right away. Great work. So I think we could work with your vendetta if we were to team up.
yeah, excellent. It sounds good. I mean, depending on what demon it is, they might like a specific type of paladin or cleric to get got. We can work on that.
I'm like, no, you can take him. I got it right now. It's fine.
Yeah,
My husband
got
locked
him
away.
real quick. Fast, quick turnaround for them souls.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
That's awesome.
that's amazing.
Devils are great. I it's probably my one big regret is I haven't really had a chance to really explore devils properly. I think they have to be well written, because they're clever, right? They can put you in situations that you don't really want to be in, and there has to be a level of like reason behind some of their stuff. I mean, it could be like, I'm evil, but that's not really fun. There should be some kind of motivation behind them that has them like dragging all these people into these horrible things. But
That's why I'm having so much fun in the city, and the various demons and devils that you guys run into. Because a lot of the demons you run into are usually just like, ah! I'm gonna fight you. But the devils are just especially one of my favorites was the Sire of Insanity. Playing with him because he was just like fucking with everyone the whole fight, basically.
He's a dick.
And like he was a dick, but it was so much fun. I had a great time playing that dude. But yeah, no, it was a good time. And I 100% agree. I think devils are super fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about, Maya. It took me a second. I caught up. Thank you for the explanation. I'm a dingus. Yeah.
Like that klaxon kind of thing going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll wrap up with mine, and then we'll get going. I didn't get to tweak as much as I wanted because I was very distracted. So I think when we do this again, I will be kind of fixing this person. But my idea for this vengeance pally was sort of obviously vengeance, right? That has to be a pretty decent part of their storyline to have anything kind of work with that. But I actually kind of this idea was sort of taken a little bit from Valen because I liked the foundation that you gave Valen, in that he's kind of handicapped in a way, and his friends played a huge part in his childhood. So I have ideas for it, but nothing is concrete necessarily. But the idea is that something basically happened to one of his friends. One of his friends was rich as fuck, and some asshole basically made sure that his friend's family just fell into poverty immediately. And through a long series of shit, they lived in a huge city that had a very famous gladiatorial arena. And this the person who basically helmed that had a son who fought in the gladiatorial arena, and they're like, fuck that guy, we're gonna get in the gladiatorial arena and beat his son's ass as revenge. So him and his friends started kind of training up, and his friend was a blue dragonborn is what I have. So he knows Draconic because he was super cool with him, and they spoke in that language every so often, and he taught him Elvish or whatever. But basically that's part of the reason why he has a gladiator background, and being in there was just kind of their way of trying to fight back as young teenager / adults kind of situation. But through all that and whatever happened, his friend winds up dying in a crazy fight where actually as he went, he kind of had a burst of lightning happen, and in that whole situation, the guy leaves essentially. I'm trying to like truncate the story so you don't get this whole like shit. But like essentially the guy they were targeting escapes, his friend dies, and in that burst, it kind of fucked with his nervous system. So he has garbage dexterity because he has slight like tremors or sometimes just kind of like either the shakes or like a spasm almost. So he is very strong, but he, you know, is constantly kind of rattling, which also, I like, regardless of what he's wearing, I feel like he'd have disadvantage on stealth no matter what, because if he's just like a bunch of pots and pans just like shaking, like, he's gonna have a terrible stealth no matter what.
Yep.
So, but for him, because he's sort of like gladiator style, I was kind of envisioning the whole like the spear and the shield and like not necessarily the net, but the idea of like kind of having that combo going in there. And I like the idea of him sort of again being probably like an orphan or something. Just the idea that like he grew up around a lot of other like races and cultures, so he doesn't like present himself as an elf, which is also or half elf. Which is part of the reason why I like the idea of him being very strong. So he has like incredible strength, mostly because of his background, and part of his vengeance is not only for his friend, but for what his friend and like that family had lost, essentially. So that was kind of where I was going with this guy. I didn't really get to pick much of my spells because they started doing some goofy shit. But one of the things I fucking love Vengeance Pallies, because I don't know if you've met me or Nenners, but if someone hits us, we like to hit them back real hard. I mean, like Vengeance Pallies with their like vow of enmity and all those, like, I fucking love it. I think it's such a cool like flavor and like direction to take. And I don't think, strangely enough, out of the three characters that were presented, he's probably the one with a more moral compass. But it's kind of wishy-washy. But he's not working around with dead bones in a bag like Nenners as per usual, and he's not trying to get souls for his patron. So I don't think I didn't give him an alignment, I don't think, or if I did, I just like auto click to get through it. But I almost feel he'd be sort of like maybe even a true neutral. Like I kind of see him going all over the place. It's just like I just kind of do what I want. I'm a little selfish, and if I don't like somebody, I'm going to be a little childish and go after them until they're super dead, because fuck that shit. So that was kind of I have no name for him yet, and I still have a lot of like fussing I want to do. But I was talking feats with Joe, and I fucking love Martial Adept so much. So I definitely picked that one up. I think that was it for feats, because for the other ones I had so many odd numbers and I wanted to like top them off, so I took an ASI for the other one. Just keeping it by the book and all that. And I fully intend on multi-classing him, but I'm not entirely sure what with yet. But I'm fucking around with him. And what does the hit points look like for everybody? Did anyone even roll?
I was just working
went
on
with average. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just went with average too. 16,
I didn't do anything. I was just like, oh shit, I should figure that out.
Blank. I was like, we got some chunkies, some non-chunkies. It's a good time.
I do want to respond to Maya real quick.
Oh yeah, she's lighting you up.
She's I just gotta say, the low dex is okay if you're not going on a stealth suggested assassination mission. If that's the case and you roll with your low dex character, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you're just like a regular adventurer, you know, bonking goblins on the head and stuff, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
There is that. Oh, God. So, anyway, this, I think, kind of concludes our very first sort of build with me situation. I know I hope it'll be a little neater next time, because we had to figure out a lot of things, and by we, I mean me.
I say next time, maybe put it in Discord or something and make like certain. My brain is now working. I'm on vacation and my brain just fucking left my brain, my head. Certain types of modifiers or like regulations or rule, like something like.
Oh yeah, fully.
Make a bunch of.
No,
whatever.
Let me tell you, I had ideas. One of them is one of the goofy ones that I was going to suggest, and this one's a little more open. But one of them was pick a pet, turn them into whatever kind of character you think they would be. And if you didn't have any ideas, Nubs is a bard because he sings the song of his people all the damn time. And he's adorable, and the persuasion checks are very common and very often successful because we've given probably too many treats. But like, just the idea of like turning someone into something else, and, or an idea or a concept into
cool.
things. But also other things that are kind of like make a character, but like their highest stat can only be a 14 or something, and then but just like fucking around with things. I had various other parameters, but for our first one, I think it's fun that we were just like, we're just hanging out, we're doing what the fuck we want. Does he also attempt to romance anything in sight? That is a stereotype, Kit. Get out of here.
That's right.
No, but I don't like the stereotype that like bards have to be sort of like, I'm going to make you swoon all the time or whatever. Like they don't. It's fine if they are, but that's not a. You don't have to be that if you are bard. Is essentially what I'm saying. Weird, they're hard. But yeah. So next time we'll definitely fuck around with this. He does not attempt to romance. I don't think. He just wants cuddles. He just wants hugs and love. But anyway, I have to go find someone to raid. I'm doing all this like we're gonna sign off, and I haven't fucking found somebody. So I'm gonna leave it to the boys to conversate, and I will look for a raid possibility.
I went back and cleaned up the shit that I had missed, and I forgot the Pack of the Tome gives you 3 more cantrips. So joke's on me. I do get Mold Earth because I can pick a different class to pick from. So gives me Toll the Dead, Mold Earth, and Mending.
Awesome.
Yeah, everything
not-
you need.
Often needed, but as a somebody with a sorcerer, I think I was with Mold Earth, and I was the whatever the reborn thing is. Those guys don't need to breathe, so there's just an enemy up on me. I was like, you know what? 5-foot hole. We're both going in. Next turn, fill that hole.
We're both going.
So I just buried us
I'll
both
kill me. I
alive.
don't give a shit.
Yep. And then once he was dead, I got myself back out. It was fine.
Not allowed.
Yeah, that's effective.
But
That works.
even though it's rarely needed or really used, I just like it's one of the few spells that's somatic only.
Oh, God, what is with that?
What is?
Just the
Mold
lack
Earth.
of somatic spells.
Oh, Mold Earth. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
I
many of
agree.
them require words, but
Verbal,
because
yeah.
most of the time people try and like cheeseball it, like, hey, can I like roll a stealth or a sleight of hand to conceal the spell? And I'm in the camp that no, you may not. There's a class with a specific ability to subtle spell,
Mm.
so you don't get to cheese it. The class has it. If there wasn't a class that had it, then we'd talk. But I don't like people getting by with class features they don't really have. And that's me being a stickler and a curmudgeon. It's fine if you play it the
I
other
think
way.
it depends on the situation. If it's like if you're out in the open, that's one thing. If you're within like a crowd of people, or you got like your teammates in front of you, I think you can very easily hide a somatic. Doing like some crazy like,
I've always pictured, for the most part, that spells' somatic components aren't. I mean, there's a reason there's subtle spell. To me, it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of big, you're drawing sigils in the air. Magic is obvious for me, and it doesn't have to
absolutely. But like if someone can draw a sword stealthily, I think you can, and it's obviously somewhat different, but I think if with the proper set, like, I'm gonna dip behind this corner and like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it
I
didn't require
suppose,
line of sight.
but-
Like, I think you could play with it within reason. I hear what you're saying, 100%. Like, but if there's like a tree or like you've got a giant in front of you or whatever.
And that's true for
yeah.
somatic, but that goes to the point where most spells have verbal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
of course.
Yeah.
How loud do you have to shout it though? Becomes an
Yeah.
interesting question, right?
I mean,
it's like, is there a conversation going on? Is there like a
And
way
it's fair to
you
play
can-
that way. In my
Yeah.
head, I was like, no, you're calling upon the weave. You gotta speak up.
Okay.
But you don't necessarily have to go that route, and you can play with the idea of keeping, and it opens up some variables for casters who wouldn't otherwise have them. But the meta magic adept feat is real cheap. Granted, like your point though, it's not a lot of it, but if you need to subtle spell more than twice a day, then you're in some pickles.
I hear you, and I err on the side of like I want my players to be creative, and if they can give me a good reason why they can do it, and maybe their teammates help them, maybe the bard kicks up a song, that goes with the tempo of that spell. Dope, that's an awesome moment. But yeah, if I agree, if they're just like, well, I'm just gonna like hide my voice and like,
Yeah.
then yeah, there's levels of
They don't know what
effort
doing
and
is
like,
channel.
yeah, I totally.
'Cause no, I agree. Every creativity should be rewarded.
100%. But with that though, I'm gonna have us come on go start to raid. We're gonna go raid Guild Superior. I think they were recommended by Insomnia Night a while ago, and I've been kind of catching some other things, and they seem like a really cool community. It looks like they kind of keep pulling in new players and new games and such. So I think they're live almost like every night, just because they have like a bunch of different people running a bunch of different things, and it seems like it's one dude who's producing for like all these people, and he seems
Good lord.
awesome. He's like always active in chat. He kind of like signs in and off all of the streams and kind of introduces everybody, but. It's a really polished looking stream too. It always looks real nice. Anyway, but we're gonna go raid them. So as like my fucking yammering is going on, please hang out and go show them a little bit of love. And next time will be better, I promise.
We were great. I don't know what you're talking about.
You were great. You guys were great. No complaints there. But we're gonna say goodnight and thank you so much. We'll be here tomorrow for Ibelin Nights stuff. So please hang out then.
It's gonna be awesome. Stop by.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, friends.